I'm your host, Kris Sherriff, joined on a desk today by Greg Jackson and Calvin Wong, and we were just in the middle of mocking Greg for his lack of ability when he's going to be appearing in Game 2 against Terren.
Yes, exactly.
So, we do have, hopefully we'll have time for 3 games tonight, but we have Jeremy versus Alex in Game 1, who looks like they're almost ready for us to jump over to, and we have Terrence versus Greg for Game 2, and then Terrence will be remaining on the table to play Aiden in Game 3 if we have the time. So I'm going to throw it over to Game 1 now, and let's get the show on the road, guys.
Looks like they've already placed those rocks.
Yep, going for relatively tight cluster there. Trying. My guess would be that's an attempt to block all of the decloak lanes because we've got 2 phantoms from Alex here, and unfortunately for him, Jeremy has initiative and 2 pilots that will be able to have the chance to shoot first.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal for the 2 phantoms, but we shall see.
Just to confirm, Jeremy, you did take initiative, so you're moving and shooting first? Or
Alex has initiative?
Alex will be moving and shooting first. All right. So Jeremy will want to react to move like Jake Farrell rather than the chance to shoot at 2 defense dice on this one.
Just setting up now.
So do you guys want to cover off the lists for the viewers and see if there's any talking points? I know that we have the joint Rebel Resistance list for Jeremy.
Yep. Jeremy, interestingly, does not seem to have chosen to fix forward the turret on his Y-Wing. So while it does have the stress ability, it does not have the double stress ability.
Oh, you did BTL it? You did put BTLA 4 on at Y-Wing?
Title or no title?
You didn't
it's not on our list.
No? Okay.
They were a little out of sync with the audio.
Did you have it, though?
It does have
it.
It does have it,
right.
so it will be updated in 1 second.
Makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then
So he can double stress. All right, well, that's reasonable. The only thing worth noting back then was that what's he going for with the turret functionality is just, that is a stress hog that is gray instead of gold.
Yeah. Chosen R5 P9 on Poe. It's an interesting one. The choice between that and R2 is a close one. I feel like R2 is a bit more consistent because you can always guarantee you get that shield back. R5 P9 is like 1 point cheaper, but I guess you need that focus if you get blocked. That could prevent you.
Yeah, it is a lot more susceptible to disruption or being in a very bad situation and having to spend that focus. But R2 does lock you into fairly predictable flight paths because, well, you're not going to recover if you're not executing a green.
Yeah. Yeah, predictable moves, but I guess depending on the situation, sometimes you don't care if they know what you're going to do. They can't engage with you anyway.
Yeah, R5 P9 does force you into a certain action as well, which means you're not going to be making use of the boost ability on.
have we got 3 of the same rock?
X Wing.
So, apparently we have 3 of the same rock. Yeah. Fix that.
We've started dial, so we've started dial placement, so
going to ignore that 3 at the same rock for this particular game, since they've already pretty much started. Just a quick touch on Alex's list. Agent Callus and Sensor Jammer. Yeah, on Echo.
Echo's extremely disruptive.
Do we know what ship he chose? Oh, necessarily.
We don't.
What ship for Agent? Which ship did you choose for Agent Callus? Oh,
Choosing Poe.
Yeah.
There we go.
so would you want me to pull up Agent Callus for you guys so you can talk about it? So, Agent
Of
Callus.
course, this means that I would need Jake to hunt Echo in this case. Because Jake will be shooting before Echo has a chance to cloak.
That's very true.
And then Poe can go after Whisper at the same time, although the presence of Rebel Captive does make that less of a wonderful choice. Although, because of the Rebel Captive, Jake does, and the fact that he's chosen to give Alex initiative, Jake will generally be shooting. So, between that and having pushed the limit, I don't see generally wanting to do that with Jake very often, unless he doesn't have much else of an option. You can see here, Jake is off on the side, running away on the side.
Sitting in that right corner, Jeremy's right corner. Yep. Directly across from all of Alex's.
Yep, Jake is being quite aggressive here, but, well, knowing 2 of the 3 dials, then that's relatively safe as well. It's unlikely Alex is going to split his fence too much.
Noise levels hopefully won't get too crazy, but there will be some background noise.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a good dedicated space for this, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be nice if we could get a proper studio, but I don't know if we have the room for that.
Just a noise cancelling partition would be helpful, but I guess that's a little hard to get hold of on short notice.
Yeah. On dials again for the second round now. Interesting choice of the 2 Phantoms. Obviously, a while back in the meta, 2 Phantoms was a thing. It was usually just straight up 2 Phantoms for 88 points. So he's chosen to add in the TIE Fighter, in this case, 9 Is that, do you feel like Phantoms are still a thing, Calvin? 2 Phantoms, I guess, particularly?
I feel like they're too susceptible to the fact that we've got a lot of skill 10 pilots running around these days, and getting to shoot at an uncloaked Phantom before it gets to take a crack at you is fairly pretty strong.
Yeah. For sure, Poe Dameron is in a lot of lists these days, usually with VI, so a lot of him at pilot skill 10.
Yeah, and Vader is actually coming in with Veteran 6 quite frequently as well, so
Yeah.
having movement option ships with boosts coming in after the Phantoms makes them a lot easier to pin down, especially with shooting it.
Yeah.
We don't actually have the preponderance of skill 10 turrets, but
Yeah. So I mean, all those Imperial Aces lists, either 3 Aces or Shuttle and 2 Aces, a lot of them are going to have the advantage over this type of list.
and here we're having the decloaks. Echo's decloaking forward bank left, and straightforward. What is Alex going to do here? Given the relative pilot skills, I would be expecting him to try and jump in on the A wing simply because the Y wing and Poe are much slower, and it will be a lot easier to catch them relatively separate.
Especially with Jake being so aggressive. in that first turn. You can be fairly confident that you're going to up close on him. If he's cagey again with O and Y, I guarantee you're going to get a good shot.
Yeah, looks like he's running Night Beast forward quite aggressively here. Although the Y-Wing didn't turn. I would have expected him to bank in here just to keep his nose pointed at the fight correctly, but
Unless they anticipated
unless
those
he,
phantoms coming
at him,
towards him.
the Phantoms were intending to go for the Y-Wing X Wing there, then yeah, that probably would be better, but looks like Jeremy is figured that would have been what happened rather than.
Yeah, heading straight in against that.
Yep.
That TLTY with stress. Probably be a lot. Not sure what's going on with that.
Well, it looks like Kris is playing with the camera, so.
We're still able to see pretty much all the action.
Yeah, although at this point I'm actually looking at the actual table rather than at our camera view between the delay and the angle. It's a little shaky on our production screen here. Jeremy has some choices to make anyway.
Looks like
Barrel
rolling. Get away from one of those things.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he's going to quite make it or not.
it looks like he may actually have had to dodge one of those phantom marks.
There we go.
Looks like he's managed to dodge on Whisper. This could be very, very bad for Alex. If Whisper stays on cloak this turn, it's going to be very easy to listen. Yeah, that looks like a definite arc dodge there.
Yeah. Jake got that focus open.
Yeah, well, in order to barrel roll, he would have to, because Jake's ability is to take it up that way.
He's managed to get range 1. Is he going to unload on Whisper?
Given that Whisper doesn't seem likely to be able to cloak, that is almost certainly the case what we are going to be doing. Now the question here is, does Poe also want to shoot there? Because it's quite possible that the A-Wing might be able to get the job done itself, but for the safe play, I would probably.
Yeah, I agree. You want to try and make sure. No guarantees that.
Alright, well, here's Poe's shot.
Well, looks like
Is that one focus? No, without and 2 blanks.
it's pretty bad. That was a couple of shields.
On 4.
2 shields off from. 1 shield off.
Okay, so that was one hit through then. Alright, and that does look like Whisper does indeed black shot, so she is going to. Interesting, that's just a primary. He's not firing the rockets. Apparently he doesn't want to do a block.
So 2 evades, no damage.
Looks like Whisper has survived a very dangerous turn.
Of course, Poe took the stress from the rebel cap.
That's true. Alright, it looks like
Echo firing at Jake.
range 2 shot. Doesn't look that bad. 3. That doesn't look so good for Jake.
They token.
No, yeah, he's got plenty of tokens.
1 damage.
So it looks like even with all the tokens, he's still going to take 1.
So, considering, I think that's actually not too bad for Alex. Lost 1 shield and a Whisper. Could have been much worse.
Yeah,
Jeremy wanted the.
he wanted to save Proton Rocket, and sometimes that can be correct, but sometimes that can be very risky. Like, as Terrence can attest, sometimes the target locked focused Proton Rocket still just won't get the job done.
You know that from personal experience.
Yeah, when we faced off with the Rockets against TLTs in both of our games, he put 2 rockets into the same Y-Wing, and in both on the first round of combat, and both times he failed to kill the Y-Wing that he shot with 2 rockets.
Ouch.
Both, and every single time it was the target lock focused shot.
Yeah.
Just could not get it done.
Sometimes those dice just don't want to work for you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, just enough of 8s. Yeah, just enough.
Looks like Terrence is actually watching the stream instead of getting his butt down here to take part in it.
Maybe he thinks this game is going to go long.
Yeah, run faster, Terrence.
Yeah. So we have dial placement for next round.
Yep. Because only Echo was able to cloak. Whisper is going to be very predictable this round. If Whisper wants to get back to the fight, there's not much Whisper can do. Even a hard turn roll is not likely to bring Whisper back into an angle that is useful. So this may be one of those rare turns where you are going to have to coy again.
We shall see very soon. But yeah, I think you may be right then.
Given the angles of the ships, it's actually quite unlikely that Poe and the Y-Wing will be in a position to really exploit that.
Yeah.
Because the coy group is quite long.
Of course, Poe being stressed.
Yeah, he's probably going to want to just hit a 3 straight.
I think that could have been worse. But Alex. Whisper is the lower of the 2.
Whisper is the one that is currently not at an angle and is parallel to the board edges. Let's see. Given that Jake is stressed, I would expect him to just try and hop over the Phantoms with a 5 or possibly more, or possibly just a 4, just to clear those Phantoms and get a fight and come back around for a better angle.
Echo being cloaked right now has not many options to decloak.
Not many good ones, though. Echo is basically going to have to decloak to Echo's left and to the back.
Or one of the ahead options.
Those don't bring her back if you go to angle.
They don't. No.
Sorry, observe. We've just been asked who Agent Callus has named. That's Poe. Poe Dameron there. Okay. All right. Well, here's the decloak.
He's actually taking that option to try and bug out and play for position.
There are a lot of maneuvers possible here from Echo as well.
Yeah.
You could go for a tight turn or just for a sweeping turn to come back in.
You were talking about the 5 straight from Jake. Do you think a hard left 2 would have been an option?
That runs the risk of colliding depending on what Alex chose to do with Phantoms, and with the tie clearly opting for this maneuver, that could have been very risky.
Yeah.
I personally didn't like the hard 2 simply because that puts him at a very high chance of colliding. Whereas if you played for position and just jumped Jake past, then he'd probably wind up in the same position. No matter what Alex does, it's very unlikely that Jake would be in a position to suffer unreturned damage if he hopped past.
Definitely the safer option.
It really depends on what you're doing. And yet, there is indeed the case.
Good call on that one.
Looks like the range of the Y-Wing is going very close. If he actually has range with that Y-Wing, then, well, Whisper's never cloaking again. So here's the 5, and now if Jake boosts and rolls away, he will be completely out of the fight. Alright, well, Jeremy's still chewing on his options for actions here. Oh, looks like he is going to go for a boost. The question is, will he roll out?
Could just token up.
Oh, yeah. Just token out, that looks just hard to back in. Oh no, he is taking that roll off focus, which will push him out to range 3, quite possibly out of range on Whisper. With wrong way Night Beast there, Alex is going to have a lot of trouble this one.
Oh, that 3 straight.
On his base.
Yeah. Those gone eggs every time. For me, it's usually when it's an important competitive game and it's a super tight maneuver. That's when your peg falls down and it knocks something. It's kind of awkward.
Because that's always the way.
So, out of range from Poe. So,
Yes, anyone.
like that is going to be out of range from the Y-Wing. Yeah, it's like no shot.
Interesting. Well, the Y-Wing is going to be able to smack Night Beast around a bit. Doesn't look like there's much else to do though. Looks like Jeremy is indeed going to go for the stress. Here's the primary. The tray, please. Looks like 2. Night Beast is going to check on it.
So it'd be very token or focus token for 1.
He had a token and took 1 damage.
Down goes the evade token.
And we have PLT.
Yep. His suffering is not yet over. Jeremy's considering a spend here to make that.
It's a very accurate survey.
No, that's it.
That's another damage. Could be the end of Night Beast.
That is looking very likely. That's another 2.
Finally, a big double evade there.
And down
No,
goes
it's
Night
it.
Beast.
Boom. guess just
Not the most valuable filler today.
demonstrating the strength of those VLT ones. You can definitely crank that damage through. Like that was the only attacking for that round. Setting dials. We have Whisper, Stressed.
Which really quite limits the Phantom. The Phantom's dial is not particularly loaded with range.
Yeah. He's got Pull coming in on him. And White, probably that Y-Wing. Coming out as well.
Yeah, with Jake being able to pull a 135-degree turn and barrel roll somewhere in there as well, it's very likely that Jake will be able to come around and have arc on this fight this turn.
Echo may have some work to do.
Yeah. Jeremy has suffered very little damage at this point and has taken out a TIE fighter as well as a point of shield, which is frankly a lot more than Alex has done.
Yeah, Jake just took that one shield earlier.
Yeah, so just pulling up the Phantom dial. Whisper is going to have to do a 1 bank or straight, or a 2 straight, in order to clear that stress, which, with a Phantom, is very important.
None of those options look very good.
Given Jake's positioning, hopping a 1 straight may actually give him the rock as an obstacle, depending on how Jake ends up coming back around.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, may be one of the safest plays for it. But
He was looking at the
Yeah, there were 3 of the same rocks put in. They only spotted it after they'd set dials for round 1. And given that it's a casual game, we decided to just let that go.
Alright, with that decloak, looks like Alex is going to go for the aggressive play. So the Y-Wing. The thing about the Stress Hog is simply because it's so durable, it can actually simply accept smacking the rocks and simply not care about it.
Yeah, who cares about rocks as long as you get shots on it.
It's another one of the strengths of the 4 TLT Y-Wing list. They simply don't care about the asteroids.
So,
Alright, looks like Echo is setting up to pursue Jake, or at least have an angle on him, and rolling out to make sure Poe can't creep up on him.
just sitting right in front of that Y-Wing.
At that range, the Y-Wing will not be able to shoot him, and will stress him. But the Y-Wing does have the option of firing an Echo, to stress Echo with the primary, and then firing the TLT at Whisper, assuming Whisper is still outside of range 1. Because the BTL A4 title does not force you to fire at the same target when making your cannon secondary attack.
Yeah, to me that looks like outside of range 1. We'll find out soon enough.
And the question from Jeremy is he going to boost roll or roll boost? Will change his angles of approach very slightly, so... I mean, in the end, you will end up in very similar places, but the extra vertical movement he'll get from the roll will be at a slightly different angle.
Yeah. Could potentially get him.
Alright. Looks like he is going to go for the roll first.
Close one.
Oh, looks like he cannot boost because of the angle of the drop. This leaving him in a somewhat awkward position.
Staring down 2 phantoms. Really something anyone wants to do.
Well, he's still got another action coming since
He can put stress on both the phantoms this round.
looks like he's going to elect to boost to clear Echo's arc. It's like clearing Whisper's arc as well, actually. Puts him in somewhat of an awkward position with that rock mixture. He's not going to be able to turn around on that. He's going to have to possibly even turn out, depending on the exact positioning of that. Ooh, that is indeed the left bank. Does that hit? Because if that hits, this could be very, very.
Made it.
Alright, looks like he just barely landed. Unfortunately, he does not have a legal boost. So, since he did not hit, that means he's sitting there and eating 2 phantoms worth of dice.
Yeah.
You guys were playing, it's going to have to be your call on whether or not it hit.
So they may be rolling a dice here to decide whether that was a bump or not. Oh, really wants it to be a bump.
So, on a hit or a crit, it was a bump.
Alright.
So it was a bump.
Alright,
Was
so
a
that is a bump. We're just using a classic roll a die to resolve the question. Alright, with that, no action from Poe, but, well, that is still 1 phantom worth of dice. So if you want. Fortunately for Poe, that is Whisper, and there is the off chance that he just kills Whisper here.
That is true. So
Phantoms with their 2 dice do that once in a while. Not with those rolls.
No.
That looks fairly mediocre.
So Whisper.
It's going to be some fairly minimal damage, and of course, Poe gets the wonderful joy of shooting in Rebel Captive.
So
And of course, Alex chokes. Quite unfortunate for him. Fire control gives him a target lock, but that was a truly unfortunate whiff.
I thought these pilots were supposed to be good, but Whisper, range 1, nothing. Useless.
Choices to be made for the stress hog now. I can see
These are the days when you wish you had Gunner on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so no.
Alright, so now the Wildling is choosing who to mess up.
Both of them.
Well, double stressing one may be better than single stressing both of them.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably what he's doing. Going after the Whisper.
Yeah, with only 2 dice, that would have been double stressing Whisper, yeah.
Wow.
4 blanks. Spend the
Wow.
token.
It's not Alex's name.
It really is not.
He needs to pray more to the dice gods.
I believe that's 7 blanks in his last 9 rolls.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a 2-point crack from TLT.
Still more blanks.
That's another hit. Alright.
so there's 4 more blanks in there.
Oh, that's just 8 blanks on an 8 dice.
And a big sigh of relief from Alex.
Alright, looks like Whisper barely escaped her life this round. But those fickle beat dice.
He's now double stressed, so really in trouble.
That was a truly atrocious set of rolls from Alex there.
We've all had that at one point or another. He's just lucky that, it's not a competitive game.
Yeah.
It is live on our live stream though, so this will be recorded for posterity.
So that Alex can go back and cringe. At least he can honestly point at the record and go, well, I didn't play it wrong, it was my dice. Having video proof it wasn't your fault is kind of helpful.
May well want some new dice, yeah.
Yes, you should totally email customer service and go, my dice are defective, here's the proof. Alright, so again, this turn, Jeremy has been doing a fairly good job of denying the Phantom shots to make them so much more predictable.
Yeah.
So we're looking at what is very likely, well, which is going to have to be a decloak forward for Whisper because there's no other option. Oh no, they won't be able to decloak. Whisper's going to have to stay cloaked.
Yeah. To be fair with stress, I don't think Whisper would have had a shot on anyone this turn anyway, so
That's true.
staying cloaked.
It's not actually
How
a
much
decision.
decision so bad.
1 card left. That's what I'd do with Whisper though. Force some bumps, hopefully.
Yeah, try and get in the way there, block off something.
Because the only other option is the 3 forwards, which will hopefully keep you out of everyone's arc and let you start clearing some stress.
Yeah.
With Jake up there, not in the fight this time.
Echo is likely going to, well, Echo is going to have to probably pull a hard turn.
Go not cloaked right now.
Yeah. It strongly respects the damage.
Don't see too much shooting.
No, this is going to be a turn. No, I would expect him to be playing positioning this turn. The perennial complaining about TLTs in the chat.
Calvin is not the man to complain to TLTs about.
He's a fan. To be fair, they're quite good.
Indeed they are.
But they still take some skill to use.
I feel like the skill ceiling is not particularly high, but it is higher than some people give it credit for.
There's definitely choices to be made about whether to split your guys. Talking 4 TLTs, of course.
1 up or 2 up is almost a no-brainer in the current meta with the Y-Wing being able to be a very solid filler ship, just carrying one with nothing else on it.
So really, my questioning earlier about R5P9 versus R2D2 not relevant at all right now, since I don't think anything shot at. Certainly have not taken any damage. He did get
First
shot.
world problem.
He did get a 5 dice attack against him last time.
Yeah.
Whole lot of nothing going.
3 forwards.
Yeah, Alex
to
is
clear
opting for the white one here.
That's green.
It's the 3.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have the ones, remember, because it's a tie.
Oh, yeah. I misread the dial. Go me. Well, it tells you how long it's been since I played my item.
3 straight. They want to stress.
Yeah. Looks like he's managed to just barely avoid the Y-Wing's arc to get stressed again. It looks like Jake is going to try and peel out and come back around.
Yeah, regrouping. Try and get some better position. Come back around in the fight, and I definitely want to be in Jeremy's shoes around the right.
Yeah, although the current positioning is kind of awkward, the Phantoms are also in a very awkward position. Of course, at least this turn, both Phantoms are now cloaked, so you will have the option to do something.
But still with that one stress. Jeremy's going to be able to take 4.
Yeah. Looks like Jeremy's just going to run for a lot of the fight now and indeed go for just the position. Now, looks like he's going to pick up a target lock rather than boost for position. So he may be planning to talent roll and more coin for the next turn to get back into the fight rather than turn. Right. Yep. Whisper has escaped to the Stress Hog's arc. So we are at 9.
Some people talking in the chat about the YV. I like the YV. I don't know how good it is. I like it. It's what I've been playing against Kris in my last couple of games. Admittedly, a deliberately underpowered list because it's what I'm taking to our staff tournament. So I'm trying to tone it down a little. But I do like the ship. I don't know.
Did you end up buying 3 after all?
Yeah. I own 3. So far I've only opened 1. But I really, really want to play 3 just to see. I don't know. I feel like Bosk definitely has potential.
Oh, looks like the one we did have on it.
That was hit crit. Remember,
Big crit. And
only 1 evade, so he takes a crit. What is it? Can't see because of a sleeve. Okay.
damage sensor array on Phantom, and now it's stressed. Looks like it was range 1 at least, so that's TLT coming in.
Now, down to 1.
Well, this is going to be a very bad situation for Phantoms.
Echoes heading away. I don't know that there are any good decloak options.
The way back into a game at the moment is obviously it's now going to be behind the Stress Hog and out of its arc for a very long time.
Yeah, stress hogs do not turn around.
Jake isn't really in a threatening position at the moment, so if he can somehow get shots onto Poe, the Phantoms do have the ability to punch straight through Poe, but it will need the dice to do something awfully good for it.
You mean non-roll?
All those blanks that he's
13
been doing.
blanks or whatever it was you had?
Well, depending on which superstition you want to go with, Alex is either due or it's just going to keep going that way.
Well, that is 12 dice rolls, 11 of which have been blank.
Looks like we lost our screen share here, so
It's gone, man. Next time, stream. So, that's Y Wing doing a hard right. Bump.
yep. Because it's hitting, it's also not getting it's not also getting the full magnitude of its turn, so it's going to make it so much better to. It's going to make it much harder for it to get back in.
And I'll turn there. On Echo.
That is actually going to bring you to a very good position to play on that one.
Yeah, getting in behind, as Kris was mentioning. With both Poe and Jake. Exactly.
Unfortunately, Whisper broke the wrong direction and is going to stand on his arc.
Yes.
Whisper is basically not in this game.
Yeah. At the very least, stressed again this time. And possibly even dead. Given how Alex's green decks have been.
Jake is also sweeping around, so quite possibly able to get into a position to force him to roll yet more dice.
The more dice you roll, the more likely it is to get through. Looking like a good choice to not use proton rockets early. I would have been tempted myself, but hang on to them and try and get a good shot on the Echo.
I miss any damage?
At this point, he might as well save it because he's only got to push through one more on Whisper.
Yeah.
And Echo is the only threat he has left.
Talon roll.
I fly forward and like fly 6
So you did predict that Talon roll. Target lock is on the Whisper. So we're certainly out of ring.
Okay, well, Poe's going to have an obstructed shot at long range, so this is going to be a bit iffy without a focus, so
I love this couple.
completely whiffs. Alex needed that very much. And here's Jake's shot at that.
I don't know why people think Poe's so good. He's done nothing. It's rubbish.
Today. I don't know, when there's two of you on the top table at Worlds, I think I think you can say that you're pretty good. Looks like Jake failed to scratch whisper.
Not too surprising.
All this type of shit.
All these players with Poe.
Alright, that's a lot better than Alex has been rolling. There are actual symbols on his dice.
Some damage.
Yep, that's the Y-Wing shield, and looks like he's going to eat that. Eat 2 crits.
Wow.
What have we got there for crits?
2 direct hits.
Oh.
2 direct hits.
Wow.
Oh my.
That's a pretty impressive attack.
That Grey Squadron is seriously hating his life right now.
I think he's probably feeling okay overall. He's done a good job.
Fortunately,
I
not
don't
enough
think
to stop him
Whisper's one for a world.
If she doesn't die from the direct fire, she may die from the stress-induced aneurysm.
Wow.
Oh, there she goes on the first shot.
One hit and a whip.
Whisper just is not rolling. Alex's only chance is that
Echo.
Jeremy continues to roll like that with his red dice.
So, Echo with it all to do.
Fortunately, Echo is behind the stress hog. Poe's going to have a bit of a trick angling correctly around that asteroid, and Jake isn't going to be able to turn super easily with debris cloud nearby.
Decork options are pretty reduced for Echo in that position.
Yeah,
There's no left
he has some very
decork.
strong decloak choices here, so it's going to be how well can Jeremy predict the decloak, and what is he going to do? Fortunately for Alex, Jeremy has so many movement repositions and the higher pilot skill. So unless he is extremely unpredictable here, Jeremy is likely to be able to get back into that Phantom. And that Phantom is never going to have the benefit of advanced colonial device against either of Jeremy's aces, who are largely untouched.
So, like realistically, decloak options, back right, maybe forward right. If he wants to try and finish that stress hog, he's gonna take 5.
Yeah, a back right decloak, and then the hard left. They'll likely put him in position to finish off that Y-wing, and at a considerable distance from Poe and Jake.
Wow.
I would be looking for the conservative choice here.
This means to remove a ship from the rebel side at the moment to try and reduce the firepower going back in.
Yeah. As well as the full positioning. Even if it's not pointing the right way, the stress hog is useful as a blocker, as it limited Alex's options there.
Yeah. Should be a range one shot, which if it doesn't kill off a double direct hitted.
Yeah, here we go, as predicted.
There's the technical turn.
Range 1 on that Y-wing. Almost certainly gonna kill.
Was that an evade token? The safe play, the evade. like Jeremy did go for a relatively conservative 2 straight. He will easily be able to come back in on an arc if he wants, for an arc onto Echo if he wants it. Oh, that's interesting. He just stays put.
Double stress.
Yeah, there is a stress token on Joe.
He was
How did
double
that happen?
stressed. Yeah.
Rebel captain, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Did he take a
Rebel
shot?
captain.
Oh yes, Rebel Captain. I'd forgotten about that.
Paul looks like he has range and arc onto it.
Yeah.
Range 3.
Yep. This is the best position he's going to be in. So.
Oh, coming in.
Range 3 with an evade token is the best he can hope for, especially with Agent Callus active.
And sense the jam.
Ah, yes, the jammer.
No problem with Echo.
Safe.
Yeah, between Sensor Jammer and Agent Callus, not a lot getting done there. Alright, now let's see if Alex can get two hits on 5 dice. Oh
Oh.
yes he can.
Now he
Scratch a
overdoes.
stress hog.
So finally starts rolling. The last 2 attacks from Echo have been pretty devastating.
A 7 damage shot is pretty good. Alright, so Echo is now cloaked, and the options will be interesting. Fortunately, there's a very good spread on the 2 Rebel Aces.
And yeah, both have pilot skill advantage over Echo, so
Like, I'd love to like,
green dice. Even with Sense Jammer and Agent Callus, may not get the job done.
There is a lot of points actually invested in Echo, so if he can somehow take down one of them, it can bring the game back into the win for himself. But obviously, Jeremy just needs to not die now.
Yeah, with access to Sensor Jammer, it's useful, but both Poe and Jake want to focus.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so it's not as helpful as it could be. No, normally, the main value of the Sensor Jammer is actually forcing your opponent to take focus actions as opposed to any other action.
Okay.
But in this situation, both of those pilots are going to be taking the action regardless.
Once Paul starts suffering damage because of the choice of R5P9, sensor jammers could become more relevant.
Yeah, forcing him to spend. But if Poe rolls no actual focuses,
Yes.
because of the order of the dice modifications, Defender will modify first, Sensor Jam, and then Poe can use his ability.
This looks like it'll be interesting, given the number of decoy options.
Yeah.
What does Jeremy do? He's going to try and cover as much as possible. Echo could end up in a lot of places.
Honestly, because he does have the reposition afterwards, I would opt for relatively conservative options because Alex is going to have to go for something. Either he is going to have to break contact entirely or go for a much more conservative play
Because
or aggressive play.
because I'm crazy when I fly Whisper, I'd be looking at the 2 bank left to put myself facing Paul and then do the K-turn. But that's not going to happen.
I don't know, Alex likes to cater phantoms. Honestly, gaining distance is not a bad idea, especially if it gets you pointed in the right direction.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Depending on the direction he goes, there may be. with a decloak. There are a lot of options. There's that. Now, his options here are either running away, the very risky taker.
There we go.
Ooh, there it is. Well,
No,
no, that's just straight. Yes, that's just fleeing and decloaking. That is the much safer play in this situation. If he can gain enough distance, he may be able to force the rebels out of position with respect to these 1 up. But it looks like Jeremy's just going to bring Poe around
Consolidate
and
his positioning.
Consolidate, yeah.
I know what's coming here. Focus and boost.
Yep.
So, pushing the limit.
Pushing the target lock.
Target lock.
Always a good idea. It's a case like this. Even if you're not going to use the lock this turn, nice to have it later.
Definitely if he wants to get in range for those proton rockets.
Yeah, all he really needs to do now is set that up. I'm surprised here that Jeremy didn't actually bang. But, well.
So I wanted to cover case.
But this would have been more conservative. This is the more conservative option to defend against, which were possibly decloaking the back, coming in for more aggressive play.
And I think at this stage, there's no point in taking too many big risks.
No, the only way to lose, aside from absolutely atrocious dice, the main way for Jeremy to lose this game is to be too aggressive and make a mistake.
And especially when Alex is rolling such terrible green dice. All he needs is a 2 dice attack from Jake. That'll be 2 damage through, no problem.
The way he's been rolling, indeed. Alright, looks like we've got a range 3 shot. Out comes Jake.
Which goes to a focus, which gets spent.
Yeah, Spencer jammed and then focus spent to how many? 2 hits after the poke one.
1 hit.
Oh, alright, well, there's the roll. Plenty of dice. Looks like he found some symbols.
Needed the evades, because no focus tilting.
I would be expecting either a Koyagren or a Talon roll here, just to get him turned around in the right direction. And then probably a more conservative straight out of Jake, just to try and keep an angle on that.
Well, Echo's got options. Depending how aggressive Alex wants to be.
Yeah, unfortunately he's unlikely to have a shot, because best case he can only flip around 135 degrees. But he can do it at some very strange angles.
You could do a back left, you could, and a top left.
Yeah.
Chose to stay close.
Talon and Kurt.
That is actually
A good move, I think.
that's a reasonable choice.
So it depends what Jake does.
We're recording the live show, so
Not 100%. Sorry, someone walked into our rig here, so we're a little off center again.
Needs to go.
There's space on the black corner of the map.
But I can.
Yeah, that was just some random passerby flying into the
I'll
rig.
fix that in a second.
Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne.
So
All right,
looks like Jake's going to be getting some
Very aggressive. There is the coin for double foe.
I think that's a good choice. The cloak token with no focus or evade.
Yeah,
5 dice
it's going to be
target
5
loss.
against 4. Alright, well,
Here we
there's
go.
the rocket.
Spending that target loss.
One hit will get sensor jam, but that's not really helpful. And there's the target lock.
That's pretty good.
Was that 4 or 5? 4?
So, this is 4 green dice.
Only a signal of 8?
1 evade. So, shield down and 1 point of damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, Echo's not shooting back.
That was pretty grim. Oh, still done nothing. Rubbish. He just flies around. Doing his fancy talk. Best pile and resistance.
Plot armor.
Trying to get that camera back on track. We're almost an hour, so playing time. Yeah, pretty close. Get it.
Yeah, well, regardless, Alex is going to have to kill something, and he's running very much out of time to do it, in both senses, as 1 health left on that Phantom. This needs 1 more slightly bad roll on his part, and he doesn't seem to be rolling slightly bad. He seems to be rolling absolutely terrible.
2 attacks in a row from Echo where he rolled well. Other than that, his rolling has been pretty poor.
Incredibly terrible. There's not much you can say for that. It was just awful.
Let's see. He's probably just going to mosey on over. We have a decloak. Actually wants to.
Yeah, slip past the enemy.
Interesting.
If he slips past the A-Wing and lines up on Poe, he might be in an okay position. I don't know where he's intending to go with that move, though.
Yeah, rock looks quite close.
Yeah, he's going to take the rock.
This could be the end. Let's find out. Nope. Dice
Well, the
over
dice
Roll it
missed
on
the
the
table.
table.
and the dice tray.
Still a blank.
Boom.
So that's when he rolls hit symbols.
And there we go. He's trying to get out of there. Come
Yeah,
back around.
to bucket. Yeah. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the red dice are only
I'm going to bring it back to us on the desk now.
Alright.
So, that's game one done. With a win for Jeremy. Sorry about a couple of the production hiccups we had there. I'll do my best to reline up the camera for the next game. How did you think that went?
It was good for Jeremy.
Yeah. I think the role for whether it was a bump or not they had to adjudicate on was pretty important. Because, well,
Yeah.
given the dice that Alex was rolling, maybe not, but it going from 2 range 1 shots with a Phantom to just 1 made Paul not have to worry as much.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been 1 extra attack. As
One
it
extra
was.
5 dice attack,
Well, sure, but
and would have
was
given Whisper a
undamaged.
chance to cook.
it obviously would have made a difference. But I think it was pretty bad for Alex at that point anyway.
Yeah.
So it would have been tough for him to come back and win this game.
Yeah, he overcommitted with Night Beast, I feel like. And
Yeah.
that the TIE Fighter was basically just there to give the Y-Wing a free attack.
Yeah, I feel like you have to play that list extremely cagey and then hope that you survive long enough. Let the rebels make a mistake first. If you can just take some stress from the stress hog, not the 3 points of damage to lose your TIE fighter to it. But no, I think it was all right, well played from Jeremy. I think he made all the right choices there.
Yeah.
I liked his long looping approach with Paul to get him back into a game. I liked the disengage with Jake when he didn't have a better position. So all round, I think Jeremy played it well and deserved to win.
Yeah, he was conservative, but that was definitely the right way to go for that particular match.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had the squad to beat Alex, and he used it properly.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it over to our holding screen, guys, and I'll get Jeremy and Alex over to the desk for an interview. Hi everyone, I'm joined back on the desk by Jeremy and Alex from game one. So congratulations, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Commiserations, Alex. Didn't exactly go to plan, I know.
I didn't have a ghost of a chance.
No, well,
No.
because the ghost isn't out yet.
Yes.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Eventually.
X Wing jokes. Yeah.
It unfortunately wasn't it wasn't a good matchup right from the start.
No, obviously, I have the benefits of seeing the lists as you send them in, and I get to do my evil cackles as I'm matching you all up. But no, we agree on who's going to play against who, and then they both send me the list in secret. And I remember the message that accompanied Alex's list was, it'll either do lots of killing or lots of dying.
I brought either 2 phantoms or 2 fireballs, and it turned out they were fireballs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Twitch chat was asking about the choice for Night Beast. Was there a reason you went specifically at Night Beast over one of the other ties, or?
I don't own Backstabber, and
Oh,
Night Beast with tie Mark 2s gave me a little bit of action economy.
yeah.
Sad to say, I don't know how to fly ties, so it just every time I fly ties, they just blow up.
And we did notice on the desk he seemed a little bit aggressive with him before, so
Yeah.
it
But,
does.
the 3 bank, I thought I was going the other way, but I dialed in the wrong direction, so it was supposed to go with the Y-Wing, and it made me sad.
And also another abusive question from the Twitch chat: which one of your jokers brought the 2 identical rocks?
That would be me, apparently. I thought I
Yeah.
built 2 big rocks. Okay.
I didn't actually notice that until at the very end
Yeah.
when we were cleaning up.
Yeah, we had 3 of the same rock, so Twitch chat was pretty happy with that. Yeah, we covered for you guys. Obviously, it's our fault on production end. We could have spotted it sooner. You'd place the dials at that point, so it wasn't worth changing. It's not a tournament game, so. Have you got anything on your list you wanted to discuss? I know it was.
Well, I was really happy that I kind of flew Jake the way I was supposed to. Last time I did it, I flew him right in front of 2 IG-88s.
That'll
So,
do it. Yeah.
so I was pretty happy that I kind of flew him adequately and more defensively.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
Yeah.
I thought you flew that list really well. You disengaged at the right time with Jake. You used the stress hog really well. You got all of the shots you needed to. I think there was one point where you had the option of either double stressing one Phantom or placing one stress on both, because you could have done your primary range one shot.
I thought about that, but I was focusing on Whisper, and I just wanted to cripple Whisper as much as I could.
Yeah, so I do think Calvin and Greg did mention it, but overall it was probably the right choice to double stress the one rather than spreading the stress out across
Yeah.
the list. So, no, congratulations. Hope you enjoyed it, and better luck next time. We'll happily have you back on again.
Okay.
And thanks a lot, guys. And I'll throw it back over to a holding screen. Alright, so we're prepping for game 2 now. So this is going to be Greg Jackson facing Terren. So this is the regional winner running his IGs against Terren, who came to Worlds with me. I believe he's running his Worlds list.
It's one slight modification.
Close enough to his Worlds list.
He dropped Veteran Instincts on Tycho in order to fit Expert Handling on there.
Oh, expert handling, that's one we're going to talk about. It's good.
I kind of would have liked to see how his AAA wing list did at Worlds, but after that kept getting hammered by TLTs,
By whose TLTs?
he made the Wild Space Fringer change instead of, what was that pilot?
Gamma.
Gemmer, yes, Gemmer Sojan.
I believe Terrence managed to lose to Calvin twice in one day at an event. Takes some good doing, you know. Some highly skilled, good flying by Terrence to throw 2 games against the TLTs. Yeah. So I know that we did promise we were going to do a giveaway this week, so we are looking at giving away an alternate art ball card. So if you're interested in winning that alternate art card, make sure you go onto the Century Box's Facebook page and leave a comment for today's Twitch stream advertisement. So you'll see that we've announced it. It's got a couple of likes. Just go on there, like and comment, and then we're going to draw a winner at random, and then we'll mail you your alternate art poll card. Wherever you live in the world, we are going to stump up that postage, and you will have an alternate art poll. So it looks like Greg's got his ships ready now because he failed to prep before we started recording. So I'm going to throw it over to a table. Obviously, after some minor hiccups, I might need to readjust the camera. So bear with us again, guys. I'm going to leave Calvin on his own to try to fill the waves as I'm messing around. So be right with you.
We've got Greg's personal take on the classic IG-88 robot list. He's opted for Veteran Instincts over Crack Shot, mostly because, as he claims, he hasn't played competitively since March. So we've just got the fairly standard paired identical setup. We've got advanced sensors, the Veteran Instincts, the HLCs, and the auto thrusters.
Excuse me, guys. If you hear some squeaking, that's just me being amateurish.
With the opt for Veteran Instincts, he does have a 2-point initiative bid on the robots here. The only thing about Veteran Instincts on the robots is there are not that many meta options that the initiative bid really beats with the only the skill 8s. With the preponderance of skill 10 aces, there's still a lot going on that's simply not going to care about the statistics of the IG-88s. It's useful in the mirror, but that's not what he's facing here. Depending on who actually ends up with initiative, it may actually be relevant against Tycho. Unfortunately for the IG-88s, Tycho is, Jake rather, is still going to be moving last and shooting first. As for the rebel list we've got here, we've got dual A-Wing aces and the Wild Space Fringer, who is there to get in the way and provide an intelligence agent. If I recall correctly, this was Terrence's attempt to make the list a little more effective against the quad TLTs, though I don't know if he ran into it at Worlds. But the large base to get in the way and the turret that is still effective against the incredibly clumsy Y-Wings. So, after a bit of pre-game discussion with Terrence here, Tycho is carrying expert handling primarily as a counter to the dreaded Omega leader who stops you from modifying your dice when he has some target lock. Given that he's running into IG-88s here, it will be interesting to see if that gives him any effectiveness. Yes, unfortunately, the Fringer is not here to counter builds like the robots. The Fringer, however, is useful for blocking robots because of that large base and the surprisingly agile nature of the YT-2400. The barrel rolls and the hard ones make it surprisingly easy to move those things around, despite their apparent bulk. Corellians really know how to build agile freighters.
For some reason.
Helps with the smuggling.
If you want to know how well this list can function, you can go back to listen to a post-Worlds review. And Terrence actually played against Chad on Nova Squadron Radio. And beat him in 15 minutes and then went for beer, I believe it was. I know Chad will hate me for reminding everyone of that, but it's on the show for all prosperity, so... Okay, I believe that the overlay is as best as I can make it at such short notice, so hopefully that's good enough for you guys. So we are a work in progress, so hopefully it'll get better every week.
Here's hoping. Okay, so we have the Fringer set up in the middle, likely to barrel down in between those obstacles and just get in the way of the robots. And Tycho set up on the edge. Since Tycho went down first, it looks like... Well, come on, like Greg listens to me. So, with Tycho going down first, that means move and shoot first initiative is going to be with Terrence. Robots deploying down at an angle.
Greg's actually just stalling for time here. It's not actually that good that it makes any difference where he puts his robots.
Well, at that angle, the bank in is actually going to be somewhat awkward.
Those
with
two
those
leading
obstacles.
rocks, yeah.
Because he's positioned almost to turn right into them if he bangs. So I'm guessing he's likely to not do that.
Yeah.
Of course, he could be bluffing Terrence and going, oh, I don't want to fly over those rocks, and then run right into them. Although I don't see what that would gain him.
No.
Aside from, surprise!
Well, it looks like game on, guys. So setting the dials now, I do like Terrence's deployment. I think dominating the centre of the table with his Fringer really works in with the way that he likes to use it as that blocker. Once it gets in there, it's guaranteed to be able to shoot something with the turret. And it just adds an extra obstacle onto the board.
So, who do you think is going to take this one, just on the matchup?
On the matchup, I do believe that The IGs can pump out enough damage that it could go in Greg's favour, but Terrence is actually a good enough player that he can deny Greg a lot of those shots. So,
Yeah, that's reasonable. Alright, looks like Terrence is just running straight up at him.
yep, never shy. Tycho starting to collect his stress early. Everyone needs a hobby.
Yep.
So this is Greg's use of the advanced sensors now to get the boost.
Oh, looks like he's just going to tuck in around the asteroid and then run at the A-Wing or dart around it.
Looks like the Fringer is going to be not long for his world if this is going to be Greg's focus.
Here it comes.
So this is the benefit that having advanced sensors actually gives you. It will actually have a lot more options in the opening game when you compare it to fire control systems, which is quite just brute force. I really like the way it can work. There you go, that's Greg showing what a strong player he can be with just landing right in front of those. I do think the Fringer is going to be suffering some damage here.
Yeah, with the A-Wing so far back, they're not likely to scratch Aggressor with their puny little 2 red dice. But those HLCs are probably going to take quite a chunk out of that poor Fringer. I would assume that is his game plan here.
Yeah.
Pick off that obnoxious annoyance and then rely on the fact that it's only 2 red dice against auto thruster 3. Fighting at long range is definitely going to be to Greg's benefit.
Yeah, the HLC, even when the auto thrusters are taken into account, the HLC should tip it into the favour of the robots for my taste here.
Well, fighting at range 3, he's getting an extra defense die, and Terrence won't be. Plus, he's rolling twice as many red dice. Well, A-Wing pokes at an aggressor to no effect.
Yep.
And here comes the HLC back.
That looks like no hits.
Wow. And just because he can,
So
Terrence rolling dice. Now, of course, there is the gunner effect.
yeah.
No focus, so 1.
And it's evaded.
Yep.
Yeah. See, Terrence, having spent some time earlier watching the stream instead of getting down here early, knows to move the dice into the centre of the dice tray. Greg is a bit. Oh, 1 hit again from the HLCs here.
These are simply not working out, but Terrence actually probably wants this one to hit.
Yes!
Yeah, so
Does
he
it
takes a point of damage.
It does hit for a single point.
That is sad times.
And here comes the Fringer's little claw back. And of course, no damage.
And no damage back.
Yes, Terrence was very lucky there on the red dice from his opponent.
Hey. For yourself. That's controls.
You controlled his dice rolls? So apparently Terrence is cheating because you agreed not to use force powers here, and is claiming that control got him that dice result.
I don't know. You weren't ready. You can jump in if you like. We're just having a discussion on whether we can add in a third commentator. So Jeremy's going to jump into commentating, seeing as he earned that right from winning the first game. I get to move back over to producing the show.
I'll say hello.
Hello. Again.
All right. So, what do you think about this matchup, Jeremy?
Well, I think the IG-88s may not have enough damage to really punch through the A-wings, because the advanced sensors kind of gives consistency, but it doesn't really give the top end damage, and especially without any kind of damaging EPT, he may have some trouble. So, like, I wouldn't say he's definitely as one-sided as my match, but I'd say I'd definitely give the edge to Terrence.
Even accounting for the fact that it's a bunch of two base attack ships against 2-3 agility ships with auto thrusters.
If they can get like dodgy arcs and get the range one shots,
So that's Intel Agent kicking off
kind
there.
of plink away until they take one down. Has he used any proton rockets yet?
No, this is the first pass, so he still hasn't been in range.
Yeah,
He's
so
still got the rockets.
If he can use the rockets and kind of get one of them down, then he'll be fine. But if it kind of drags on and you can't kill any of the IGs and it kind of becomes an attrition war, then it could definitely go to the IGs. This turn is looking pretty tricky for Greg.
Yeah, this is exactly what I expected the Frigger to be doing, because he's not offensively powerful, but he is very disruptive in that he can put a large base in the way of anything that Greg might want to do. This blocks off a lot of the S-loop or Koyagrin options, as well as a lot of the advanced sensor boost options.
You're now getting to see exactly why the Wild Space Fringer is in this list. The use of the Intel Agent there, and then that positioning is very strong.
Yep.
The title-less YT-2400 is very underrated, because it's a very efficient ship, but just because it has 2 agility, it tends to fly under the radar. But if it can, disrupt and get those range 1 shots, it will do work.
Yeah, it's definitely underrated. It's just a lot of people look at the 2 red dice naturally and write it off, but it's very cheap, so there we are. All right, so now we'll see how Greg tries to get himself out of the trap. With a big, fat stock freighter in his way.
At least it's not a rock, but a debris field, so there's that. But
yeah, unfortunately, IGs do not like the stress.
Well, it's true.
It is still better than the... I feel like the rock is actually better, simply because it's just... If he passes over it, he'll just take damage. And the IG-88s are agile enough with enough health that that is a better risk than getting stressed and forcing them into very predictable actions. Because as assault fighters, they always have to be getting their mark on people.
Yeah, the extra stress takes away so many options with them.
That's a crit.
Which one? B or?
Yep. There's a crit, and there's a shield.
Which one is which?
Sorry, that was B that just landed, right?
Yes.
Yes, that was B that just landed on debris. So what is C going to try and pull? Can he execute that Segnors? If that is indeed what he went for.
It'd
He's
be
trying
a
for
good
a
option,
boost here.
but it doesn't look like it.
Here's an advanced sensors boost.
Oh, it's perfect.
That gets him quite clear, actually. This would put him into a very good spot for a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a Segnors, even. Oh, yeah. Greg slipping the IG through just enough. Alright, so
Pretty good shot.
alright, we've got two stressed aggressors. Fortunately for Greg, that Fringer's not going to be very useful with nothing but an out-of-arc shot at a distant IG, but
Yeah,
hey, he got in the way, and that's all he really needs to do.
for sure.
It does potentially force Greg into choosing Jake as his target this round, because it's the only thing that both IGs can shoot at. I think the key with Greg's list is that you want to be focusing both ships on the same ship every round.
Yep. The question is,
It's
what?
very hard to do focus fire IGs because a properly played IG player, it can be very hard to focus fire.
There we go. Terren showing his skill by failing to do a barrel roll.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Jake's going to be able to get in there and launch rockets this turn. Two natural hits. IG gets away scot-free. And here comes Tycho. Only putting a single hit on the IG. And easily evaded. Everyone is at range 2 for those shots, so that is HLCs. Yeah. Both A-Wings look like they're both in arc, so... Unfortunately, no modifier, just making those HLCs less than efficient. No damage from the first HLC, and here's the IG-88C.
Two
Or
again.
B trigger, rather.
Yeah.
Who's he shooting?
Jake.
Jake? Yeah. Was Jake forced to spend tokens? No, does not look like it.
One?
Looks like the Fringer was a shot. And the Fringer again takes a single point. And no damage exchange this turn.
So overall, a pretty neutral round. B is still not in a very good position to do anything, but C is kind of has all clear in front of him. So you should be able to get a good shot next round. Hopefully, something.
Yeah, with the IG-88's access to green, it looks like he should be able to just cruise in there and light something up with his HLC, maybe pick up a target lock since he is badly needing those. Alright, both players are taking their time on this round of dial, since with that
The
ever
A-Wings don't have great options either. Jake on the top.
yes, the blue A
Yeah.
wing is Jake.
Yeah. So Jake doesn't have a really good green maneuver. Maybe the right green banks probably is,
So there's some
unless he completely goes away with his.
Sorry, Jeremy, there's some comments on the Twitch chat just asking about obviously the option not to take fire controls. And whilst I think that fire control systems has more blunt force power, in the hands of a more skilled player, I think that advanced sensors can play for itself many, many times over. You only need to look at the Big Sports of Dogs list that Paul Heaver played to win his first World Championships. The choice to take advanced sensors in that list is overall less brute force power than a fire controls, but the ability to be able to do your actions and still pull a red, still fly over a rock, is underrated a lot of times in the hands of a good player.
I agree. I think the advanced sensor is the consistent play. I think these days fire control system tends to be more popular simply because of with that extra point you can get stuff like glitter stim in there.
Robots
But-
on drugs.
But yeah, you can definitely go either or. I personally I like using advanced sensors to and essentially joust them, but I'm not an excellent robot player.
Yeah. So Tycho stacking those to rest to keep focus evading.
Yep. Looking like he's expecting the IG to have to blow past him, which it almost certainly will. Unfortunately for that bot, he's still eating all the stress.
Terrence has a tendency to pop his pockets without the target lock, as I think you can attest, Calvin. He
Actually, all the shots I remember in our games were target locked and focused. It's just that didn't seem to help him very much.
oh, sad times.
That and my Y-Wings are apparently very good at dodging.
Jake will be interesting here, what the options are.
Yeah, with one IG stressed and pointing the wrong way, this is looking very awkward for Greg for the next couple rounds.
He won't be a factor for the next couple turns.
And that intel agent is going to be able to pick on him. Pick on the one IG that is pointed the right way, rather. Unfortunately, making primary attacks out of the IGs with this configuration isn't particularly great, since if he misses, he can't gunner. Because he won't have a cannon that's in range.
Right.
He does, however, have 2 points left in his list, so he could always throw on tractor beams when they're released.
Yeah, B is the one that's facing upwards.
Does that feel?
So-
The one on the right.
So the
Did
proton,
not help.
so
Is that
the,
one?
the unmodified proton rocket shot and
Oh, there's
the
a-
target lock spent.
There's a target lock.
Really?
There's 5.
Yep.
Very good.
1 natural. So the reroll works out very nicely. Oh dear. A complete choke from the IG is going
5
to take...
damage onto IGC.
Any crits? Oh, B's? Sorry, B. No crits? Alright, well, B is just going to lose...
A lot.
A lot.
Alright.
However, it's not.
Pretty unfortunate, but that's what Terrence needs to really win. Is to really in this case got really lucky with the proton rockets. Those are definitely the key to winning this matchup.
Well, it's one set gone, so
Yep, only got one left. So he's going to have to hope he can punch through the agility. He didn't actually crit, so there's no hindrance on the IG. Of course, B is pointing the wrong way anyway, so. Okay.
so the grand outlay of that was what's the damage on B and not a lot else.
Well, at least this time the HLC did more than one to the Fringer. That has been a truly tragic set of damage rolls out of those IGs so far.
So going back to dials now, so the key for Terrence here is going to try to make sure that one, he keeps Tycho in tight on that IG, and that two, he can get Jake around to use his prockets hopefully on the same one again.
Unfortunately, Tycho is going to be moving before the IG, so he's not going to be able to get that close. The IG is likely going to be able to scoot out of range simply on its maneuver. Tycho may actually profit more from just staying over there and getting in the way of IG-88C. Let's see. He may be able to bring Jake back in.
It's hard to tell if he can make that the two turn. It does not look like it. If he has to bank to get around that rock, then he doesn't have a chance.
Because I'm cruel, I'm actually hoping that Terrence is a moron and dials in the red move with Tycho, just to let Greg place his dial for him.
That seems unlikely.
Tycho doesn't want to bump. He does have the one turn, but he won't be facing the right direction.
To be honest, I think I would be doing the one hard with Tycho, accepting my final position as whatever it is, because I'm going to have that robot in arc.
Like
Possibly.
It cannot turn to face me, and I will have it in arc.
yeah, the bump is probably
The fact that the robots cannot fly slowly is going to force him to eventually outrun him.
This is true. Alright, so... looks like the Fringer is just going to
It's going
mostly
to
chill out.
bump himself into Tycho.
Yeah.
There's a chance that the angle will put him back onto that debris field as well.
Yep. Seeing how far he comes around. He comes around quite a lot, so it looks like he's just going to be fatted in the way like usual.
So the Fringer actually...
The Fringer actually appears to have cleared.
I was hoping to bump.
So that's Terrence actually being bad at the game there, not being able to bump into his own ships. The mark of a true amateur.
He couldn't hit the broadside of an A-wing if he tried.
And I believe he just did.
Indeed.
Okay. There's Tycho, so I say taking that bump is the move I would have gone for. It blocks off a lot of options for the IGs. Guarantees you a shot.
Yep. Well, now...
Obviously, I think Greg could be foolish to boost from here
It
because of,
would be a very
Yeah.
risky play, but a hard one may be able to bring him back around.
The
I
To be fair,
personally
I would
would not
if
be
he-
risking it.
Yeah,
if you boost it.
I personally would just grab an evade token and call it good. Because what is an
I
A-Wing
think
going
so.
to do to you?
Yeah.
Without the rockets, what's an A-Wing going to do?
Well, you need to accept the positioner, take the evade.
Yeah. Because you need the.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think you can afford the boost here.
No.
Well,
And
that is a
Greg
token.
comes to the same conclusion.
Yep. And now, what is B going to do? Advanced sensors is almost necessary here, with so much in his way. We haven't seen his dial, but Terrence has. So.
If he ends up just bumping the A-Wing, he would have a very strong shot versus the YT 2400.
Yeah, but it is just a primary.
There's no reroll on it. But no, it looks like he's gone for a swoop again, which clears.
Yep, that's going to put him behind the A-Wing. And what's he going to do with it?
That has to be a shot on the fringer, hopefully get the crit through and take it off the board this round.
Get it out of the way, because it's the perfect angle to jump up and block
Just
any
to
turn from
keep-
that IG.
Yeah.
Ooh. Jake hops around, and he may be able to set up for a pocket shot.
Now we know where the ships are going to position first round. I can bring it in a bit tighter.
Can you put a focus token to use that? To use that boost? It doesn't look
No,
like
it looks like he went for
He
the
went
boost
for
and held the
the
focus
boost.
option for the roll. Yep. He just straight boosted rather than taking the focus boost.
So there should be another lot of rockets coming in.
It's possible, but he didn't pick up a lock. So. Ooh, looks like that's a range 2. Correctly judged there.
Hit.
That's
crit.
2.
Terrence's dice are on fire.
At least
And
Greg's
evaded.
at least Greg's green dice are not doing too terribly. All right, so Tycho's shot.
One hit this time with the evade token. So
Yeah, that's a guaranteed dodge, but well, better to make it roll.
yeah.
Because if that token
And
has to be
evaded
spent,
without the spending of the token.
Yeah.
Which is good, because
well,
as
that's,
unlikely as it was for the fringer to shoot at him, he is damaged, so concentrating fire is always the option.
Fringer, I think, is definitely, even though he doesn't get the reroll, I think it's definitely a choice here.
So, tokenless Tycho or the Wild Space Fringer?
It is a tough choice though.
You, if,
Because of
only, if only you could roll a dice and then pick.
simply based on the reliability, I would be
Can
very
you
tempted to go shoot a
point-
Tycho here.
Can you point at which one he picks? Just so I can. Yeah.
I would be very tempted to go for Tycho here myself, just because
You have
well,
the potential to remove a ship.
it's only one green die difference,
Yeah.
and you have the gunner.
Yeah.
The A-Wing is more likely to dodge out
Yeah,
as well.
having the gunner effect kicking in, Tycho is a better choice.
And he went for the Fringer. Looks like that's just going to be 2. Nope, 3 with the token.
So that's 2 hits onto a Fringer.
Yep. And that's the point blank shot. 2 hits from the Fringer.
Spending the target lock. 3 hits.
Fortunately for B, he's out of arc, so he'll be able to auto thrust. Ouch.
1, 2.
Takes 2.
So that's IGC taking 2 shield damage there.
The only thing helping was auto thrusters. The
So
dice are just not cooperating very much with Greg. He's not getting natural results on the dice he needs.
luckily he has got the modifiers and the tokens to try to minimize some of that impact. And now we had to, the joys of me trying to zoom out to the camera again.
Alright, so if that IG wants to be involved in the fight, it's going to have to come in pretty hard, but that Fringer is perfectly positioned to stop him.
I agree. Terrence has done a really great job with the Fringer. It's just being the biggest pain in the butt as it possibly can, and that's its whole job.
Yeah, the fact that he's actually been pushing damage through with it is just a bonus, really. We're now in a very bad position for the IGs, with one in a bad arc easily blocked, and the other also actually rather easily blocked. And
There's only one move left open for the IG now. It has to be a 1 hard.
Terrence is intelligent and shaking his head. This ought to be a good one.
I worry about the built-in barrel roll ability.
Yeah, that
barrel
roll could do a lot, but he's stressed, it looks like.
on the Fringer.
Yeah, that looks like a stress on the Fringer to me.
Oh,
Looks like it might be a
he
bump.
actually bumped, so no action to worry about here.
Well, yeah, that is a stress on his base there.
Yeah. So the Fringer is double stressed, in fact.
Ah, yes, from smacking into that obstacle. Alright.
Tycho's holding tight onto SRG. The IG has to have done a hard one to the left. Has to.
It's its
Well.
only option.
Soon we'll see what Terrence was shaking his head about after Tycho tokens up. Alright.
So
That is indeed the hard one.
the Fringer should be taking a weight of fire here.
But it's definitely not a great position with the
For C is
within range 1.
Oh, yep, Greg is opting to boost around and neutralize that A-wing.
No,
Can't
the bump.
fit. Can't fit.
The choice of the evade token or the focus token with the fire that's potentially coming at him. I think the evade's the correct option here.
Yeah. Well, Tycho does not have rockets any longer, so it's not so bad. Looks like he is going to go for the straight boost to get. I don't know if
That
that
not out of arc.
at best that'll
It's
push him out of a
prob-
range band.
It is probably range 2 power.
Yeah, at best that'll give him a range band. But taking away one die may be enough.
For sure.
Again, we see the Fringer doing its job, forcing the bumps on the robots.
Making
Luckily,
advance.
Greg gets to clear his stress now, so we can use advanced sensors from now on.
Yeah. Alright. It's like Jake went for K-turn. That's going to put him in a very interesting position.
But she does have the arc on Jake now.
Yeah, the way this worked out, that is a very interesting turn.
That could end up hurting him in the long run. Because he's
All right.
going to take a shot from B. Or from B.
And that's an evaded shot from Jake.
Yep. And Tycho. Did Tycho get the range 1? Just enough to push him out of the band, so the boost was good enough. Alright. B. From Terrence's expression, I'm guessing that was a dodge.
So both IGs have taken no damage so far, with the Fringer still to fire. But now it's the IG's turn.
Sorry, who was that shot at?
Is this the one on?
This is the shot at Jake from B.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So that's Jake's shields down.
Well, that HLC shot pops Jake's shields off, so that's some progress.
And the shot onto Tycho is 4 hits,
Ouch.
which is blanked.
And that token is the only thing that saves Tycho.
And this is where Terrence's list comes apart.
When his evade dice decide to just give up.
This is why I whooped his ass at Worlds.
So you did run into each other after.
No, just in the final places.
Ah, I see.
Oh, and the Fringer blanks out on the attack.
Whiff. Alright, well, Captain Selchu is still in a relatively good position. He'll be able to come in on a hard one and still keep B in arc while probably being in C's way. But the Fringer is only really going to be able to get into C's way here.
Yeah, I believe that the Fringer in his current positioning has the potential to do more harm than to Terrence's own positioning now, and good, by keeping him in arc of Tycho. If he breaks the Fringer off now, tries to pull range, it makes it a lot harder because the IG struggle to fly slowly,
Yeah.
which means that Tycho has a much better chance of avoiding arcs. But it depends if he wants to try and keep the action and movement denial down.
Yeah.
In fact, I take that back, the action denial won't happen due to advanced sensors, as we discussed
This is true.
earlier.
Advanced Sensor, this is the sort of matchup where Advanced Sensors is very strong, where there's an attempt at a blocker, like an aggressive blocker.
Yes. Yeah, because he will always get an action no matter what.
Yeah. And given the propensity for people to try and block ships, as well as the fat bases of the IG-88s, I think this is why I personally am a fan of the advanced sensors over the fire controls, because it makes for a lot less disruption to your game plan.
I agree. The key here, I think Terrence really has to get B down. Unfortunately, Jake is facing the wrong way. So unless he can get that range 1 shot with Tycho, looks like B probably will be able to stay alive for longer. And as longer this game goes on, with 2 IGs on the board, the worse it's going to be for Terrence.
Yeah. With the B's current position, it's very, very constrained. Like, there is almost only one place he is going to end up, so Terrence is likely to be able to predict that very easily. Between the Fringer and the A-Wing, there's not much. There's not very many places for B to go. Tycho will likely be able to draw a bead on him, as will the Fringer. But the question is, will they be close enough to push any damage through, especially with that Fringer having to fight through the auto thrusters as well?
I think the unfortunate thing for Terrence's positioning at the moment is that Jake is going to struggle to get a procket shot off on IGB, and he really wants that 5 dice attack to ensure you finish off that 2 damage remaining IGB.
I would expect him to be looking for the hard 2 to try and chunk out C for some damage, because I don't think there's any feasible way he can come around for that shot on B. Not anytime soon.
No.
Okay, looks like he's opting to clear the Fringer out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's a good move.
Yeah, it also gives the IG room to go forward, and then for Jake to tuck in behind him.
The unfortunate thing here is, obviously, with both IGs being the same pilot skill, I feel that Greg could do the signals now with IGC, putting himself into a very strong position here, taking the advanced sensors action, clearing a lot of the space for IGB to move into. So Terrence is going to do some fancy flying here if he wants to ensure a shot on IGB.
Yep, here's the expert handling coming out, giving him the roll, and actually putting him very cleanly in the way of that IG.
And more stress.
Captain Self-2 doesn't mind stress. This is probably much easier for him than being thought of as a brainwashed secret agent.
Well, you know, that doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, since we don't even know he exists. Well, no, we know he exists.
He's
Just
a Jedi, so... And I believe he's actually one of the pilots
yep, the A-Wing.
Not in Empire. I believe he flies a snow speeder in the Walker Assault as well.
I don't believe he was on screen though.
No. The only one who gets the honourable mention is obviously Wes Jansen. He becomes canonised in that scene.
The Jets?
Yeah. Good shot, Wes.
Good shot, Jansen. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very tight turn by B, so that's going to put him in an interesting spot. Ooh. Was that that is a failed Segnors, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
No.
No good. No good, unfortunately. Fortunately, the Fringer was just close enough.
That was a hard one. It was pretty hard to predict where the Fringer was going to be. So he did have both the right and the left options open to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Fringer could just have easily gone the other direction. So
Yes.
Yeah. And that's it. I don't think that's the worst positioning in the world for that IG, to be honest, as we can see here. Jake doesn't have many options.
He is going to have his procket shot.
Yeah, it has to be the target lock focus here, and then hope that he pushes that damage through.
He has to kill IG-88B.
Like, if that fits, I'll be awfully surprised.
Oh,
sad
just barely.
Sad
Just barely. The Fringer was in just the right spot to make all of that go wrong.
That one's not. Come on. You've played this game before.
I got a whole bit of prayer going on here.
I don't know, are you sure about that one? You did better than him at Worlds. How good can he be?
C has got 2 shields down.
Alright.
Now the question comes is, does Jake have the arc onto IGB?
Oh, it looks like he just barely does have B, but he's thinking about what's he going to do.
You've got, I don't care if I've got target lock or not, that rocket shot has to go onto B if I have that arc. 5 dice with only 2 hull left.
Yeah, he's thinking about who he's going to target lock because we can't check arc until it's shooting, so he's got to make that decision now.
Oh, he's taking the evade.
Looks like he's not going to risk it, or risk being wrong. Here's the check.
We're checking the arc here. Do I need to come and do a judge's ruling?
It's like the very corner of Jake.
So Jake has arc on IGB.
But he's wishing he took the target lock now. But
Here's a proton rocket.
Oh, that looks worrying. 3 hits and 2 crits. So that is a Jed IG-88B.
With authority.
That is a badly overkilled
Triple
IG.
that is
Triple blank.
that is what Terren needed to happen.
Yeah.
That has.
It also kills his gunner ability, which is going to seriously reduce his efficiency against the A-Wings.
Yeah. That swings the game quite a lot.
Yeah, with no shot this turn from
With the positioning.
Yep.
If he can use the Fringer to continue to disrupt as long as possible, and if he can kind of get both of his A-Wings around and kind of start focus firing at the same time on season.
I don't know what I'd say that's necessarily the game entirely, because there's still a potential for a lot of damage to come out of this IG. He just needs to be able to shoot. It's not a favourable position this round, but that is all of the damage out of the Rebel list now.
Yeah, we are now looking at a mere 2 red dice going into the IG from each ship now.
He needs to get the range 1 shots. That's how he will do the damage.
Yeah. Blocking the IG and stopping it from actioning or turning around is also going to be very important here.
Yeah. Although with the advanced sensors, it's pretty difficult.
He has
Yeah.
stress this round.
He's
so-
got Intel Agent, but unfortunately his Wild Space Fringer is just too stressed to be able to take full advantage of that.
And having to move first, it is going to run the risk of actually flying the Fringer off the table at some point if he gets too fancy with it.
He's only got 3 hull left. It's basically dead already. One good crack from C and he is going to go down.
He's definitely safe.
I hate that you can't scroll.
Alright, so there's the Intel Agent. And what did the Fringer do? Hard one. Yep. Gotta run.
I believe that if the IG has also done a hard one here, it will actually clear because of the way that the hard turns work on large base ships.
Yeah, hard. Tycho's not going to be able to turn around, but he is just going to bugger off and look for position.
That's the right call.
Yeah. Again, we're in a position where one player is looking to be playing conservative and just close out the game safely.
That's the way that Terren tends to play this list, is that you need to get the points into a bag. There we go, see if I'm correct on my assertion.
And was the hard turn?
No, still just bumps. 100 bumps.
Just
The positioning was just off.
That hurts.
yeah. Doesn't even drop his stress, so Jake's going to cruise up and light him up some more. Fortunately, it's only going to be Jake shooting. He's going to have all the modifiers, but at least it's
He'll
only
be double
one ship.
He'll be double tokened up versus no token. So
Yeah.
even though it will hurt. unless Greg gets lucky with his green dice.
Still, best case, that's going to be a crit at most, because there's still 2 shields on there.
No hits. 2 crits with the target lock.
Yep, so those won't go through the shields.
2 evades. No damage.
And this is the fun of 3 agility ships. Sometimes they just don't get hit.
Sometimes you just get stuffed.
Sometimes they laugh maniacally and nothing happens. Alright, again, the Fringer's in a very optimal position to just keep
Because
IG-80 from doing anything.
the IG can go slow, whereas the Fringer can go slow, and where the
With the you're
IG
correct.
has to go fast. So
The optimal positioning on the Fringer here is the fact that he's going to have a barrel roll option as well, which can bring him backwards as well. So after he's looked at that dial, there we go. So dialing in a nice simple 1 bank. He has the option now of doing that roll to move him. Obviously, the asteroid actually is a perfect example of ruining my argument for me in this particular case.
But in this case, it blocks off anything the IG can do. Jeez, what was... Oh. Yeah. Apparently today is the day for all of the cameras getting hit by things. Apparently I caught a cable with my foot. Yes, that could have been even worse. Yep, that's just going to be straight. And
this is
as long as it's clearing his stress, I feel like that's acceptable. Because once you've cleared the stress away...
But in this round, both A-wings should be able to get shots.
Well...
Well, maybe not.
Jake's not going to be able to roll back to pick that one up, so he's just going to roll out and set up for next turn.
And kind of save next turn.
No, unfortunately, it looks like that was a 4, and so the IG is still stressed. The amount of blocking he's doing, I'm surprised Greg hasn't opted for green just to get that stress out and open up his options a little. Oh, was it?
It's a 3.
It looks like there's still a stress token. Oh, it still looks like there's still a stress token. Oh, that's target lock. Okay. Yeah, it's a little hard to see around the ship.
And it's because they're on the edge of the map, it limits the options. So the Fringer is just in the ideal position just to block whatever the IG does.
Yep. All right, that looks like knocking the shields off of the IG-88C there.
Shields gone.
Was that 1 or 2 damage? Sorry.
2.
That was 2? Yikes.
Why change a habit of a lifetime?
Who needs evade symbols? Alright, so the last shield in the game is
not looking
gone.
good for the IG.
No, he's... And unfortunately for Greg, that intel agent is going to do work. Really hard to catch him by surprise. Unless it is something so absolutely insane, he would never see it coming. What does Greg have? What sort of madness has he unleashed?
His main options are either kind of like a 3 bank or a 2 turn, but they're likely to get blocked no matter what he does.
Yep. No matter what he does, he's going to be able to put that Fringer in the way. Looks like he's going to stay there. That tells us IG is probably blocked again. Otherwise, the Fringer would probably be moving to block it.
Yeah.
Alright, so advanced sensors is not going to help him a lot.
There's no boost option to get him out of this at the moment. I'm not sure if this is going to be a Fringe's job now to walk this IG across the table while the two air wings get the shots on it.
For sure.
Well, he's going to try for it. I don't think it'll fit, but...
He's attempting to actually get ahead of the...
Ooh, he may be able to fit a sloop in there. Or that. Ah.
Okay.
Oh,
So now I have
just
to
barely
actually-
squeezing in.
He doesn't
Very
have a shot,
nicely
but
done.
he's not behind that
Yeah, he's
Fringer, which he really needs to not be.
And he's at a good distance from Tycho as well. It should be enough to turn back on his auto thrusters. Jake will probably be able to get in there close enough to stop the auto thrusters, but I don't think he'll be able to actually get close enough to push for the third die.
Yeah.
That was a very nicely done set of shenanigans to get out of there.
And it's situations like that is really where advanced sensors shines, because he could not have pulled that off with a fire control system.
Exactly, and that's the point. I think in the hands of a more skilled player, I think advanced sensors is always the right choice, because you can play around not having fire control systems. You cannot play around not having advanced sensors.
Indeed. Range 1. Focus makes that 2 for Jake.
Range 2.
Or range 2, yeah. 2 dice. Looks like that's
Still
gonna push
chipping
through.
away at the damage here. Oh, is that the focus tool?
That's token? Yep, that's the token to push damage away. Yep.
Oh, complete with? Okay, so...
So 1 point through?
Yeah.
Alright.
This is
Alright, well, here's the
unfortunate
range
dice
3.
here.
Looks like 2 again from Tycho. So let's go auto thrusters.
Greg needs his dice to switch on at some point.
Looks like he had just enough.
So the auto thrusters kicked in to save him, I believe. The fringe is shot now.
That's pretty good. Another 2 from the red dice. And just
No
enough to
damage.
stop that crit.
So Terrence is actually doing consistent damage at the moment, chipping away at least one hit point per turn.
Yeah,
It's about as good as you can ask for.
But
we're down to a very fragile point here.
the problem's going to be that Greg's going to have to do something fancy to dodge here.
Yep.
I think this time we will actually get to see the Fringer barrel roll to re-spring the trap on him.
It really depends. I mean, Greg has multiple attempts to get out here. He may want to try and boost into a sloop to get the angle.
Remembering
Or
obviously
try to coil.
that the only move that the IG has that is faster than a 3 is a 4K turn. So by dialing in a 3 forwards by Terrence here, and then accounting for a barrel roll, there is actually no way, after he uses Intel Agent, he's guaranteed to be able to block off any move that the IG can do.
Yeah, this is, again, because
But if
the
it goes
IG
3
is
forward, then the IG may be able to tuck in with a hard one. So this...
Right, again, obviously getting to look at him, the barrel roll backwards would bring it in.
I don't think it gets enough backwards movement because it only gets about half a base back on the barrel roll. It may not actually get
maybe
enough
2
movement.
forwards.
It will depend on, well, it will depend on what ends up getting dialed in here.
So Greg still deliberating over a dial here. Time, you're on approximately 12 minutes remaining.
We're running out of time, so Terrence, Greg is going to have to kill something. All right.
Well, we can get you on the desk and we can discuss the benefits of partial point scoring for small base ships if you like. Anyone? Anyone?
All right, Intel agent, and now Terrence is going to figure out how to block it.
Big move forward is the right.
And now we
That's
see
the
the
three.
3 forwards by Terren. As you can see now, by doing a backwards barrel roll to the left,
Yeah,
it would
that
block off the hard
should
one.
just barely do it, yeah.
Oh, so now you can do a forwards barrel roll to the left and block it off that way. As I said, the fact that the IG's dial is so limited.
Yeah, the Intel agent's just doing, it's more than worth its points in this game.
For sure.
Fringer.
So far, the only points Terrence has lost is half the Fringer.
Yep, Fringer is 30 points base, is it?
I'm not.
Can't boost on the other way, and then when you go forward, you smash into him.
All right, well, Terrence is happy with his barrel roll. He thinks he's managed to block off all the boost options. And here's Tycho running in there.
Countering is better than flurry. This still counts.
Looks like he's just
Trying
going
to he's trying to block the right boost here with Tycho.
He's far too far back to be able to block the boost, but I don't think he's going to have an option out. This is going to give him a range 1 shot once he hits. There's really no way out for Greg here.
But doesn't that position of Tycho, doesn't that block Jake from a shot? Or is he just going to bump?
If Jake runs into Tycho, he's fine with that because he won't be running into the IG, and they'll still get a shot. It may not have dice, but unfortunately, no
the
boost.
bumps. Oh, unfortunately.
Boost forwards isn't going to work, so
No, the 4K
unfortunately, he's
isn't going to
stuck. He's
happen.
going to smack into that thing, and that is probably going to be it because he's going to be stressed again, and Terrence is unlikely to let him out of the trap.
Yeah. So now you're just
And there's the collision. And this is precisely why the Fringer is in the list. Terrence is very good at this sort of play, at pissing people off. And looks like Jake did try to bank out in case there was an escape attempt. So, Greg, how long before you deck Terrence? Alright, that's 3 out of Tycho.
Oh, you got the focus.
One crit through onto the IG.
No straight.
Can't assign straights.
Better than stunned pilot. It could have been worse. Imagine stunned pilot. Alright, unfortunately, the IG is again stressed, so he's just going to have to bank and hope that opens up his options again, I think.
Unfortunately, IG has nowhere to go because they're on the edge of the board. He's just in a really bad spot.
Awfully well played by Terren here, showing the power of that Intel agent and the Fringer combination. Now, imagine how well this kind of list would function if those ships did damage without the rockets.
Yes, it does have a bit of a problem with burst. It's taking him a long time to finish that off that IG.
Okay, I'm going to take some liberties with the camera here, because I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of the bottom of the screen for a while.
Not likely. Alright, so the Springer is just going to stay nice and tight tucked in there, block off all the options for the IG to turn around.
Do you barrel roll backwards here? Right and back, or just stay where you are?
He knows what the maneuver is, so I'm going to guess not. I'm not sure Greg is choosing the correct maneuvers here.
You might be able to do a boost and then like a 4 and then like a 3 forward.
He's stressed right now, so he's going to have to take his action. He's going to have to take his action after. And that's the one thing. Oh, if this doesn't hit.
There we go. Finally.
There we go.
Finally, he gets a shot. Now, if...
looks.
Sorry, go on, Jeremy.
He has a shot on the Fringer. However, he's likely going to have 2 A-wing shots on him.
Yep. He probably will not be able to use that
He may.
token offensively. Fortunately, he will be able to see the results of their attacks before he shoots.
If he manages to kill the Fringer in this round, there is still hope, because it will open up the table a lot.
For sure.
So that is why you see Terrence closing in for the kill this round, because he needs to make it happen before the Fringer goes down.
Of course, absolute worst case, Greg doesn't kill the Fringer.
Hit, crit.
Natural.
What were you saying about good dice, Terrence?
I don't need any of those tokens. Apparently neither does he.
Is that 3 evades?
Yeah, that was.
Alright, so on the natural 3, nothing goes through.
It was
Hit from behind.
3 natural hits and the focus token spent to keep him alive.
Tycho does nothing.
No damage from Tycho shooting, so the IG does get to shoot.
One shot.
Alright, let's hope this is a good one. Hey, well, the dice missed the table.
That's 2 hits so far, it looks like.
I don't know if those are off or on. They were.
I've got a record of the damage here if you want me to come and check it.
3 hits.
3 hits,
Alright.
the Fringer can die.
One of them. Boom.
The Fringer dies.
That's nothing.
That opens up the table for Greg now, so we have a game on.
I'm not sorry.
Wired, unfortunately, is not as good as Equal TS seems to think it is because it's a re-roll, not a convert.
And it takes away maneuverability if it's Tycho build by not having PTL and expert handling.
Yeah. This one is going to come down to the dice now.
Yeah, so now he's got the whole side of the board is open for him now. So if he can put some distance and try and deny the range 1 shots, then he has a shot at it.
Yeah, now he has the choice between going fast or going slow because it's going to be a lot more difficult for the A-Wings to get in his way without intelligence agent to tell him where the IG's heading. He's going to have to predict, and
The move
with a lot
here-
of more clear space on that side of the board, it's going to be it's actually to his advantage here.
The move from Greg here has to be the swoop right, changing his orientation, advanced sensors beforehand to get the focus, or evade if you want to play defensively, and then you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself a shot on at least one of those A-Wings.
I might actually consider a boost to the right and then a Koya grid to give him a lot of
I
distance.
agree, because it's C. He'd get a evade from the
That
the
is
boost.
true. That is true.
Yeah. And the IGs are much happier to be fighting at long range than the A-Wings. And frankly, with so few health left on those A-Wings,
Depends, are you going to dial in a K-turn? It's a very tense game at the moment now. We have about 8 minutes remaining, I believe. Probably less than that.
and all three ships are on their last legs.
Yeah.
Very back and forth game.
All right, the A-Wing is on. Jake has a very likely chance of doing a Koya grid here, just because it'll flip him around to the right position.
Jake would be fine with a 2-turn.
And there we go. Terrence's coyness is coming into play now. He's trying to preserve the points from Tycho here.
Yep.
So I believe it would need to be Tycho that Greg would have to kill to make it the modified win in his favour.
Yep, only 24 points left for him. So, well, here's the choice. Greg is contemplating advanced sensors, it looks like. Yep, that is an AdSense boost. And what did he do? And there is the sloop.
It's going to put him onto the
Debris.
debris.
That's not.
Yeah, that was.
If
that
Greg
should've-
rolls a crit here and ends the game for us.
that was
Oh! Oh!
See if he can manage to flip the direct hit.
Damaged engine. That is a painful one. That is a very bad one. So this is when
That
Greg's
is-
dice roll well.
It's the dice roll he wanted.
That's twice.
It's the dice roll he wanted, just not at the time he wanted it.
I'm gonna focus.
Fly better, sunshine. Fly better. Have you thought about getting good? It's okay, you'll get to come and enjoy the post-game interview and not all the adorations from the adoring fans you're building.
Alright, here's Psycho Shot.
the S-Loop was really.
One hit.
One.
The S-Loop was really curious. I don't quite understand his thought process with it because he had the whole board open. There's no way anything could
I don't think
I tend
have
to agree.
interfered with that. So I think that was a clear misplay.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I honestly would not have done it just for the risk of that, but I would have gone for the Koya grid here. Ooh, that's an unfortunate one. Oh well, so it goes.
Oh.
Unfortunately, no gunner.
I think that makes us remember these things. Easier for me.
And now it feels like the only question is, can Terrence finish Greg off before time? Or can Greg pull out something and actually
you
surprise
have
us?
like 3 minutes remaining.
Unfortunately, the IG-88 is locked out of actions now. Sorry, can you say that?
It is only one. He only has one stress on the IG.
He has two. He had to sloop and then he hit the debris.
Yeah, so that clears one of those stress.
So that's unfortunately going to leave him at one
So he's probably
now.
hoping for a bump.
Yeah. Jake's going to climb with him. Unfortunately, Tycho's got stuff. Well, 2 dice against 3, so. Hit crit again, natural. Alright, he's going to need 2 of them. And that's it.
buddy.
Yeah.
Almost somehow.
And that will be the end of it.
When I had like
As the Fringer was the most obnoxious thing ever.
Yeah. Well, it's a game, so I will be throwing it back to the analysis desk for a quick chat. I might need to readjust the camera, as that was the banging noise you heard midway through the game. So I'm going to throw it back to the desk now, and then we'll break that game down, and then I'll grab Greg and Terrence for a post-game interview. So yeah, I'm just going to have to move the camera if you guys want to chat about that.
A lot of that one just came down to the dice. Just
It
being
was
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It was also very well flown by both of them, like especially Terrence and especially when the IG-88C, there was really nothing he could do, but overall, it was well flown by both of them.
No doubt, like the Fringer being so incredibly obnoxious was certainly a factor. But I mean, a lot of the initial damage going through on the Fringer just wasn't there. Like 3 heavy laser cannon shots resulting in 2 damage by the very beginning of the game.
Yeah,
That's definitely
that's
rough.
true. And then there were quite a few bad green dice rolls on Greg's part early on as well. Terrence got the pocket results that he needed in this game. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
if they were that reliable all of the time, I promise you Terrence would have made the cut at Worlds. Unfortunately, they're not, and he's not good enough for player to account for that. Just gonna throw that out there. You know, if it were better, it'd have made the cut. So,
Yeah, definitely the pro.
Remind me how
rockets
you
are
did
the
the Worlds.
key to the matchup.
38? No, I don't know. Somewhere 5 and 3. Yeah, 5 and 3. I'll ask Terrence Fay what he did when he's on the desk, because I know he likes those stories.
In my heart, I was 7-0. I didn't play the last round.
Oh, sad times. Yeah, I enjoyed that game. I actually enjoyed watching that game and commentating on it. There was a lot of fancy flying there.
Yep, some very nice
Very
choices.
back and forth, and kind of the momentum changed several times.
I think both players managed to actually throw in reasons why these not quite the meta net builds are still good and worth considering. Well, worth more in consideration, worth actually taking, putting on the table and getting good with. That opening from Greg, where he managed to dance around those obstacles, that advanced sensors
Yeah,
boost to
made me
pull.
eat my words.
Yeah, managed to pull level with the Fringer and almost escape. Just the fact that Terrence had the Fringer on the table in that build, just a naked Fringer with an intel agent, and the way he managed to use it to handicap the way Greg had to play.
Yep.
I thought it was an awesome display. Really enjoyed watching that game.
That Fringer did a lot of work, and it was definitely the MVP.
It's very good.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that the Fringer did more than make up for the lack of damage output. I'd go as far to say that without the Fringer in that list, if you replaced it with a more offensive ship, it wouldn't function anywhere near as well.
Definitely. You need to have that ship there just to disrupt.
Okay guys, so what I'm going to do now is throw you over to a holding screen whilst I pull Greg and Terrence up. for a bit of a post-game interview, and then we'll start analysing ready for game 3 if the players are still willing to hang around and play. Back in 2 minutes. Hi guys, so I'm back. I'm joined by Greg again, the unfortunate victim of Terrence's delightful flying with a Fringer.
That was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's a good game. Yes.
Yeah, I know that the Twitch chat actually really enjoyed that one. It was good to see some of the comments on the builds as you were doing the deployment, and then watching people slowly eat the words as the game went on.
Eat their words. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
But, a wild space what now? I think was one of the comments.
It was naked?
Yeah,
Was he an idiot?
a wild space fringe with an intelligent. What's that do? What's that?
Apparently quite a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't need to do damage when your opponent can't actually do anything.
That's right. When you're pointed away the whole game, it helps for sure.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick questions before we delve into your guys' thoughts on the game. People were asking about the choice of advanced sensors over fire controls. I know that we discussed it a little bit on the desk. I know that I've played a warm-up game at Worlds against you where you ran the same type of list as Greg there.
Yeah.
So what are your two thoughts on that choice?
So I think for me, it's that advanced sensors is going to give you that position game, right? I personally have won with advanced sensors. I prefer advanced sensors to fire control myself.
Yeah.
But you really need to expand the engagement, extend it out, and come back in waves. And like we saw, you just
can't
weren't
do it
able
with
to extend that distance, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all about the positional game with IGs because they have to get just in regular arc. You need that position. So for me, the reduction in the damage output is a trade that I am willing to take every time.
Yes.
Because if I can boost and then sloop or boost and K-turn, it just gives you so many more options to get that position that you need.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I ran them, it's been the same thing. Just getting stuck in a position where you're facing somewhere bad, and then doing the advanced boost, getting the token, so 2 actions still, and then going away. The build that I usually run actually is Predator on B and Mangler, and then HLC and push the limit on the other one.
Yeah.
So
An asymmetric build.
yeah.
I know that there was a bit of an applause on your boost and then one bank just to pull to the side. But I did point out that had opened you up to the intel agent and 3 forwards on the make it impossible. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you actually dialed in that 3 forward to back me up and that I actually knew what I was talking about, because that made it impossible for an IG to escape that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it was an awesome move to see. It's just unfortunate that you dialed in that.
The K-turn, yeah. I almost took the one hard after that, which I think with his 3 straight, he might have still been able to block.
It would have still blocked, but I think it would have
But-
opened up a better angle for you in the
and I wouldn't have been stressed. So
Yeah.
I think that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I should have done the hard.
That would have been my next point. I know that the Calvin picked up on that in the commentary. Also, that last move when you finally managed to kill a Fringer and break out.
Yeah.
That you've done the swoop instead of a K. I think the boost and then the K.
Yeah.
That K turned just left a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, I was worried that he could have done the 5 straight with Tycho and got in front of me and blocked the boost. And if I dialed in the K-turn,
Then you're off the
then I'm
board.
off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I put the sloop in, that means that can't possibly happen. It was gonna be iffy.
Yeah.
I almost did the 1 straight boost and then the sloop, and that might have been okay.
Yeah.
That would have been tight.
It would have been tight. So my options were pretty limited at that point. I went for a
I don't think in any means were you likely to pull that game back for a win at that point. But, you know, we like to be harsh critics on the show. If we feel you've done something suboptimal, like take that list to Worlds, we're going to bring it up.
That was a decent list. It was poorly flown at Worlds. Poorly flown at Worlds.
No. I did sing your praises on the chat. I did say that I feel that you've more than had the talent to make the cut. you just need to stop handicapping yourself
Yeah.
for those lists.
Yeah, perhaps.
But one of the
Perhaps.
points I believe I made on your list today is that if you replace one of those A-wings with a ship that actually did damage,
Yeah, I've been looking at even if you just replace both of them with 3 B-wings, right?
Yeah.
Anything that can slow roll, that's what kills me. Is I
yeah,
can't go slow enough to take full advantage
Of
of
the
the
infringer,
infringer, right?
yeah.
So it's definitely a handicap that I just like flying A-wings.
yeah. Just the one of them. You need to try out Nathan's list and just have that little prototype and be really annoying.
It's the agent, like
Oh.
knowing for sure that
I've flown the
Yeah.
agent on Echo. I know
Amazing.
all about
Amazing.
the Intel agent. It's
Yeah.
good.
absolutely.
And that's why I went for the Fringer first. I wanted to make sure it was gone.
So,
So what happened to that plan?
did you try rolling hits against him instead of blanks? You know.
Well, you know, that didn't occur to me, Chris.
No,
Yeah,
it's
so
not
you
time.
could
I'll try
only
that next
full
time.
hit versus the A-wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was some slight disparities in the not the average of the rolls. I felt it was pretty balanced.
Yeah.
Like you got lots of crits on the obstacles. You know. Well, it's just the way it rolls sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he puts in the debris clouds, and
Yeah.
figure I'll go on those because I never roll crits. Except when I go on debris clouds.
Maybe you roll
Observing.
crits all the time. The HLCs just. roll
That's
them.
right.
You just don't
Well, that's why I
notice them.
take HLCs. So I never roll crits anyway, so it doesn't matter. So.
Good
Yeah.
thinking. Good
Yeah.
thinking. You got anything you guys want to chat about?
I think you know, like I've played a ton of robots, so I think maybe you went into this with a little bit of a disadvantage in that, you know, I've won a store championship. I've won regionals with robots, so I'm pretty well versed in what they can do. And you know, my list is designed to block big ships, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was you know on tilt away from you pretty much from the beginning. So
In Greg's defence here, he hasn't actually played a competitive game for nearly a year now. Is it
March
March
last year.
Yeah,
Which was robots actually.
yeah.
and we do try and get some games in the store on Friday evenings and stuff like that, but it's not the same.
I've
Although,
only got Chris to play against. So.
and I'm not quite at the stature of Terren. His abilities. My trophy cabinet for X Wing is still empty, unfortunately. You know, I talk the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so joined on the desk by 2 regional champions. Yeah. It was the game I was actually looking forward to the most today. Out of
Me
the
too.
matchups, I thought it was going to be interesting. The lists had the potential to go either way. All was going to come down to the execution. And thanks for putting on a good show, guys. I know the audience enjoyed it. So
Awesome.
thanks a lot.
Thanks,
And
Chris.
congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
win.
Absolutely. So what do I get?
Well deserved.
What do I get? Is it like a
Adulation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bragging
No.
rights.
I'm internet famous now. Is that what I get?
No, if you like, I'll speak to Ed, see what I can do.
Oh, perfect.
Get you as, you know, a soundbite on the show. I'm just going to throw this over to a holding screen, guys, while Terrence comes back on the table. And we'll get Calvin back up and we'll start analysing the next lot of lists. Okay, guys, so we're back. Just before I throw it back over to the table, I wanted to thank everyone who's been watching so far. Remind you all about our competition to win an alternate Art 4 dam run. So if you find the event post for this event tonight on the Sentry Box Facebook page, like it and leave a comment. We'll be selecting a winner at random. So you're looking for the Facebook post on the Sentry Box's page about the episode 2 of Monday Night Gaming X Wing.
Should be the most recent post on there.
It should be, but you know, we sometimes don't want to make it too easy for you to win a free poll. Okay. We'll
Whose
be-
job is it to do the social media for you guys anyways?
It's all,
is it you?
It's a bit of a joint effort, but it's usually mostly me and Zach, one of the guys.
I do all of the advertising for this stuff, and then yeah, Facebook's a bit of a pain sometimes, but we'll get there. Okay, so we'll go to game number 3.
He just wants to use Wampa and pulls it to crit you through your shields because it's hilarious.
With Palpatine to guarantee that he can get the crit that he needs. Is interesting.
Jax just appears to be there because he might have been short to point for Fel.
Yeah, I think so. I think you needed every other point. But Jax is a pain in the backside, so.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't quite familiar with it, Wampa here, who we saw last week, what happens is when he is attacking, if he's got he may cancel all of his attack dice. If he canceled a crit, he deals a face-down damage card. Calls it, at the end phase, he can spend a target lock to flip a face-down damage card on the target locked opponent face up. So, if they manage to tag the same guy, well, that's face-up damage for free. Well, not free.
But yeah, face-up damage, which against someone like Poe Dameron with his regenerating shields is quite nice. So that looks like a good thing for Terrence in this matchup.
Even on top of that, it's just the simple fact that he might actually be able to kill a ship without having to damage his shields.
You guys know me at this. That might help.
Okay.
Okay. The token that Terrence has in the middle of the screen is his Palpatine token to show that he has used it already.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I'll be spending the token, I imagine.
So yeah, it's a somewhat situational combo. He's got to get all of his guys, his two guys onto the same.
And it does involve spending Palpatine offensively if you want to guarantee its function.
Yeah.
But it is low enough in the skill order that it's only happening at 4.
Yeah.
So he will be able to protect Jax if he has to, and 2 of Aiden's ships here will be firing before he has to make that decision. So he can use it if it's an absolutely necessary defensive move.
Yeah.
So we have a standard Paul Heaver Poe Dameron here with the R2-D2, the more reliable choice that doesn't constrain you into making sure you get your focus actions on every turn. BB-8 on Blue Ace is going to make for a surprisingly agile little T-70, although normally the pilot skill just doesn't make that work very well.
Yeah.
But here, with only Jax going afterwards, might be
That's
effective.
true. I mean, the problem with Blue Ace is its pilot skill. It's the same as Elastic, but not quite to the same extent. Obviously with Elo, because 7 is bumpable to 9. 5, it's just that level I don't like. I prefer either an always-on ability or something to help my defense or offense if I'm going to be taking that level. The repositioning at that level, I don't like paying those
Yeah, it's only
points
still
for.
5.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan. Blue Squadron Novice is just packing an R2 Astromech, which is a bit of an odd choice since it's a very...
It lets you recover from those Talon rolls better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting
I'm
to see how
trying
he
to
chooses to
justify
fly.
it,
Yeah.
you know, especially when you're not taking integrated.
Yeah, he's opted for triple auto thrusters here.
Having this list actually has a 4-point initiative bid.
Yeah. So I mean, if you had like 1 spare point,
I would have bumped up to aggro mech.
Yeah.
Make it add a little bit of stress into the list. Would have been a better choice. I
might have liked that, yeah.
I don't think a 4-point initiative bid is worth it.
No, not when it's really only for Poe.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a lot of visual distinction between the X-Wings here, so I'm just going to take a quick look.
So yeah, 4-point initiative bid is a large bid, when typically for Poe, it's not even that important.
Which one was which?
Okay, so Blue Ace is the one that's in the corner there, other two ships. Poe is at the back, and the one on the right on its own is the Novice. The others are all different ship types, so Alright, so Kris has helpfully dragged the pilot skills over to the ships to indicate who's who. Alright, so we've got a castle formation in the corner there out of Terrence. Both the Advanced and the Interceptor are pointing forward. Looks like they're just going to pop past that rock. Looking to block the Omicron, maybe, just to slow him down a little. Yeah, no Blue Ace.
Yeah, Blue Ace is the
hard turn
boost.
boost.
Yeah, boosts up hard. Can be. I agree with the person who says the generic ace names. Drives me crazy, especially with all those TIE fighters. TIE foes. Well, which one's a which?
I like it when I like the names that actually call back to a part of the expanded universe that was cool, like Thal. But
I'll be honest, I think we discussed this on the Nova Squadron podcast when we did the reveals for them. The fact that they've got those names is obviously to allow them to produce the product before the film came out. I'm happy to suck it up if it meant we got that core set in September rather than having to wait until December.
unfortunately, they did that with the older TIE fighters as well, like Night Beast and Dark Curse. But those are at least a little more evocative names, which I would actually rather like.
Backstabber at least gives you a clue as to what his ability might do.
Oh, you mean you get confused between Omega Leader and Omega Ace? How dare you? How very dare you?
What about Omega Squadron
Ace.
Veteran?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I guess like I could make this guy, but I'm not.
Alright, well, Aiden's just playing it conservatively. It looks like he doesn't want to play in the rock, so he's just going to hop forward and turn past.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of open space for him to play in. Unfortunately, Kano's gone pretty aggressively at him, so interesting to see where that leads.
Yeah. Wampa is hanging out way in the back. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's Colson. Colson is hanging out way in the back.
Yeah.
Well,
Wampa does have an unfortunate tendency to just have things pointed at him, and then he goes away quietly. But for a cheap TIE fighter, like that draws so much fear, he's surprisingly not worked well. The last time I ran into him, I did overreact a little and point everything at him. So
yeah, I think last Monday we saw a couple people taking Wampa, and he pretty much died right away. Both times.
but it's the fear of his ability. Oh no, my shields they do nothing, like goggles.
My shields, they do nothing.
That's true, but no, it's. I just want more.
Yeah, as it is with this matchup, I think Kano is a better choice to Fell anyway, because you can prevent Poe
From being Poe.
being Poe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in this matchup, it strongly disrupts him. But here's the thing. It will like R2-D2 is more functional in the presence of Jax than R5P, I guess.
Oh, definitely. You feel like crying if you lose one shield and Jax drops in range in front of you. It's like, I've got the token, I won't be spending it to get my shield back.
Alright, Omega Leader means you can't
Modify dice
Modify
and heavy
dice.
laser cannons crit to hit is considered a modification.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring Omega Leader against my robot HLCs, please.
Alright, well, Colzet's slowly crawling up while Jax runs in. Well, Colzet is not very important in the initial pass. He's mostly there to poke you and be a little bit irritating.
Yeah, he only needs to have the target lock on the appropriate ship. He doesn't need to be pointing at it or anything else. So
You know, all he needs to do is, and since he's taking the fire control, he just needs to poke at it. Make up a target lock, even if he wasn't in range to actually pick one up normally.
It's a very potent combination if flown well, which I think Terrence has demonstrated he has the skill to do.
He's definitely taking a lot easier on Aiden than he was on the
outrageous. If we see a hard left from the shuttle this time.
Now that's an interesting angle for that guy with Ghost.
It is situational.
Kind of puts that rock rather in his path.
It's got BB-8, remember? So the barrel roll.
That's true.
Yeah.
Looks like he wants that shot.
Yeah, I think that's a good move.
It's a little awkward though, because it does prevent you from rolling and turning into it as well. But, well, he's going to be in a decent position for trading shots with Jax there.
Looks like he's
Carl just
two banks
straight
and a
ahead.
bump here.
This may be a bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
That looks
To
awful.
be honest, I think it'll get him into range, and that's good enough.
Well, I was concerned that the Poe might actually have hit the Blue Squadron office. Just very, very close. Yeah. No, looks like he'll be able to do his action. So Poe's shot.
Yeah, suppose shot
The
is
only
in range
shot.
of Kano.
This is going to be range 3, so 5 dice and auto thrusters.
Indeed.
It's a long shot, but always roll the dice. Sometimes they might roll.
Oh, happens.
Yeah, there you
Poe
go.
happens. There's 3.
Is that hit crit?
And here's Jax.
Blanks.
Nope.
Auto thrusters to 3.
It doesn't look like he had a blank to auto thrust.
No.
So,
So I had one auto thruster and a token.
Oh,
And a token.
so an auto
Okay.
thruster and a token, and he's fine.
there you go. Strip the token off.
That's, yeah,
That is a worthwhile. With 2 more guys pointing at him, that is worthwhile.
Range 2 and
All right.
Blue Ace.
Blue Ace is going to be the recipient of Jax's suffering.
just a crit.
Just
not much there.
2 evades.
I'll get the base back on.
Blue Ace. Well,
I believe that was Khan.
yeah, that was Carno's shot. It was a single. He generated a single crit. He got nothing. He got nowhere with that.
Check if it's through a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Two hits. Crit. 1, 2, 3.
yeah, easily evaded. That is what interceptors and stealth do.
Range 3 shot here.
And the last shot is going to be a final tap from the Blue Squadron office. Looks like 2 again.
I've got 1, 2 auto thrusters and 3.
That's good.
A big surprise. Kano tokened up, mostly at range 3. Does not take any damage.
Wampa, however, is now going to get to poke the Blue Ace, looks like.
Yeah, the Palpatine effect is going to come in here.
Yeah. It's, oh no, looks like they're out of range since they're setting dials.
Oh,
Right.
That's sad.
we're all excited to see the Wampa effect.
Yeah, the Blue Squadron took his shot. So.
The Blue Squad, oh yeah. Just making sure. Alright, so Colton's going to want to cruise in a lot faster than he has been. It looks like that fight's going to take place in that asteroid cluster at the lower end, just above Cloud City. What do you think? Do you think he should be aggressive with the shuttle? Or do you think he should be playing it more conservative?
In this type of Palpatine build, well, not specifically this build, but in a build where you do put Palpatine on the shuttle, I think it's criminal to not take some advantage of its firepower, because the efficiency for its points cost, even at 28 points, sorry, 29 points, I believe, for Palpatine, it's still a well-balanced ship if you take the dial out of the equation.
Still rolling 3 red dice.
Exactly. I'm just thinking, should he be a little more aggressive to try and push for a better shot? Because he's quite out of position. The X Wing slow roll, like a very conservative maneuver, might not bring him in this turn.
But it
But if he goes fast, then the X Wing might actually bring the fight too close and get behind him.
I think the conservative move with the shuttle, as long as you're getting the arc and lining the shots up, is better than going ham, because if you go ham and get it wrong, you're never going to recover that shuttle.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I'm liking the one bang on the shuttle.
Yes.
Because even if he doesn't get a shot this turn,
Now, Jax is in a bit of an awkward position, but the question is, can he block Jax? Because
The boost as well here, very aggressive.
he really just wants to be in Jax's way. I just really want that particular angle. Alright, so the question is he going to sling the Blue Ace out to the side and then use his ability to hard wing one in?
I think I'd be looking to go left around that
That's
asteroid.
a lot more aggressive on the shuttle. That's a 2-bang for a focus. Right, and here comes Colzette.
Jax is going to be at range 1, so
Range one of something.
Well done.
Yeah, Jax. It's going to be all about just how he manages to sneak in there and screw everyone up. Looks like the Jax is not quite where Wampa wanted him to
But Wampa doesn't really care. Once he gets to shoot, if he can help it, that's not all he really needs.
be. Of course, sometimes you get lucky and you just get bankrupt naturally. Alright, so he's going to roly-poly over to the side.
BB8 being BB8 there. It's such a good card.
And it's so adorable.
I do have one of those app control BB-8s. It is awesome.
Right, so is he going to? No, he's just going to have a token. He's a little too close to Jax for that. Sorry, what action did Blue Squad A just take?
See, we're in range one of Jax.
Is he in range 1?
You can take the target lock or a boost. Yep.
Yep. He only shuts off evades and focuses.
And I got Jax just
Jax is just going to scoot off, get out of the way, and be somewhere really obnoxious. Going, haha, you can't focus. Like in this case, Terren is using him more for his ability than the fact that he is an interceptor which works.
which is a crying shame, but
In the current situation, it's not completely terrible.
no.
Although Jax won't be shooting, he's in a rather good position to mess with him. Of course, with Poe right there, that could hurt.
Gotta take the
There's a target
target
lock.
because can't take his focus.
And here we go. Unfortunately, Colzet wasn't able to get angle on anybody. Oh wait, no, he does. He will have angle on. Oh,
Wow.
he could crit. Oh.
So,
Suspending
token
the
gets him out.
token.
that was unfortunate. Only 2 hits, even with the target lock.
Yeah, very weak.
And like Jax got away with it.
Alright, so here's the poke on one. What?
That's the target lock.
1.3.
And Wampa.
I'm gonna copy.
And the Palpatine is going to be used to keep Wampa from suffering any damage. He's gonna go for the long shot. Terrence is gambling.
So at least
He's a gambling man.
he forced the defensive palpatines. Terrence did not want to risk a blinded pilot.
That would have been Right, so Colton's gonna get himself a target lock and
Now is it time to get excited? Oh no.
no, it's
Well,
not. Time to
Wampa's-
get excited. Wampa had to use the defensive opponent.
Yeah.
So Wampa was sad.
Just once this game. Just once.
Just once, please.
2 hits from that roll.
Wampa,
Correct, yes.
Wampa still gets credit. What will it be?
Terrence forgot to cut his damage deck from last game, so we're just on a bit of a shuttle. Direct hit onto Wampa.
Living on the edge now.
So good choice for the defensive hull. Or even did.
Well, let's see if the shuttle can accomplish something where the ties have failed. Ooh. Alright, so Blue Ace loses his shield from that crack.
And they're back to dial.
Yeah, this is a very interesting position. Jax is going to have a tough time coming back in to disrupt focuses. Just because of the position.
Yeah.
He could hard turn and then
Rely on
roll
them.
back in, but he's not really going to be able to line up a shot very well either. So he's mostly just going to be around for disruption.
And that's never a bad way to use Jax, especially when you've still got the offensive power of a shuttle in the next round.
This looks like
have
a
a
zero
shot, and calls it should be around.
This looks like a good zero turn for the shuttle. Just
So even the one forwards should get you a shot.
the zero just to make sure those ships are in our long distance.
like the oil damages.
They are going to. Well, Wampa has a tough choice to make. Like, he's not going to be able to pull that rock there. Like, that is a very risky move. And there's no other way for a Wampa to turn around.
Blue Squadron is going to be moving first.
Yep. I would expect Wampa to come in a little more, like on something very slow, like a 2-bank, try and have a shot at Poe. The squad rookie's going to smack the Wampa, so he's probably clear.
Maybe a whole lot of bumping this time.
Yeah, I feel like Kolzit's 5 forward was the wrong choice. He should have gone for a bank, but I don't know. We'll see. Depends if he can set up that crit onto the. If he can set up that auto damage onto Poe here. Alright, so we've got Kolzit cruising in on the bank now. What's he going to do?
I can only hope, but this is all setting up on Poe now.
Yeah.
They took a focus, I believe.
Yep, that's focus token. Alright, so Wampa.
Is Wampa just going to bump?
No, he's going to
Two
pick up that 2-bank. Hope for
But Poe is
Poe is going to stay
after Jax.
And he looks like he's going to have a roll option. So that's the question. Is he going to roll? Yeah, he's going
Yeah,
to roll.
that's good flying by Terren, I say, getting this combo ready for Poe with Wampa, Palpatine, and Kolzit.
Yeah, but it looks like Poe's going to get that'll turn off the combo.
Show you my dial.
Depends on whether Poe is going to try and break off the fall again.
Oh, what's he up to?
Well, he's got BB-8, remember, so...
Yeah, he just executed the maneuver.
No, it's fine. Before he does the next one, he can still.
Yeah. So,
Remove guard.
I can't say I like where he's planning on going with it, though.
He's basically dropping him behind the shuttle, which
Yeah,
I
trying to
think
cut behind the shuttle and get it.
is the wrong choice. I think we've established now that chasing a shuttle in a PAL basis list isn't the way to go. When you've got 3 aces instead of 2,
Yeah.
it becomes even worse of a choice, I feel.
Oh, what did Poe do? Did Poe hit Wampa? Or did Poe do something that's going to get him smacked in the chin? Alright, what did you do?
So that gets him clear.
Yeah, Wampa's not going to be a threat. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. With Wampa combo.
Still get it. It's okay. It's plenty
Yeah,
of
well,
time.
Wampa's not getting shot this turn, so. Our beloved silly little TIE fighter will live another turn. Looks like he is actually just going to try and gank the shuttle. I don't know if he has enough dice to do it.
So planning on
He's
still
on a range
hunting
race.
tractor
Talking
jets.
about the shuttle.
And then we go down to Blue Ace. We've got range.
All right. Well, Blue Ace is going to poke the shuttle. See what happens.
Not a bad choice.
It looks pretty good.
Focus.
One of eight.
Shuttle's dodging.
Shields off the shuttle.
One and one.
And
Oh,
nothing.
shields from
Oh, that was on to Paul Damlon, I believe.
That was on the
down,
pole.
yeah.
2 shields. May not want to actually kill him. May not actually want to wampa him since he's using shields. Who knows? Ooh, a natural 3 from the Blue Squad. And finally,
Palpatine
Palpatine gets
spent 2 more shields onto
Right, there's a shot of Blue Ace back in the shuttle.
One hit.
Ooh, pretty weak.
That's the problem with pulling the red move.
Yeah, no modifiers, no help. Unfortunately, we have yet to see anything in Terrence's list do any of the fun stuff that it wants to do. All it has done is just go, ha, you can't focus, I guess. And run away. But, well, this turn may be different, as all of the X-Wings are pointed at the shuttle.
Yeah, I think it's been a good exchange of fire for this turn, but next turn gets interesting.
I think last turn he could have used the Wampa ability if he had taken the first crit.
That would have been a
But
gamble.
it would have meant Wampa would have died afterwards, so
Yeah.
I think it was a better choice to
It would have been a gamble. Quite a gamble.
yeah, just to get 1 crit through to lose Wampa.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
The 1 in 16, like, it would, and there's a 1 in 16 about that. It would have been a blinded pilot, and it would have made the whole thing move.
Yeah. Now everyone's facing the shot.
Although, actually, after the shuttle, the direct hit was on top, so that would have been fine. But it was not something you could have known going in. Okay, Jax is definitely just going to come right back in. There's really only one choice for an interceptor in these positions. Despite the variety of moves on their dial, when they're stressed, it pretty much is going to be a 2 unless they're going to go straight. Oh, there's a Talon roll out of the Blue Squad on this. It's
Interesting.
like he's setting up to poke Jax. The shuttle goes 1.
That's
At a really bad angle to pick on that Blue Squadron, unfortunately. So that shuttle may be denied a shot now.
Blue Ace is gonna.
So now we're going to call it. Cruising in nice and slow. It's almost certainly going to be a hard one on the block here to try and get somebody in the dark.
I wish I could have turned off autofocus on the Mac, but next week, guys, we will not have autofocus ruining this shot for you. It will remain focused on the table.
The curse of jobs.
Yeah, what do you think? The 1 bank from the Blue Ace with the barrel roll first to the left? Maybe.
I actually,
around.
given that he Talon rolled, I think he might have gone for a Talon roll just to be really gutsy. But I don't think that'll work out. If he rolls left, he'll be fine. But if he rolls right, he'll get that easy. That's what he did. Yeah.
Did BB-8.
Yeah, he's going to take the
She forgot about Terren.
Yeah. Lucky for him,
Good
Terrence
guy,
is a nice guy.
Yeah, so
No reason to go over the rock. You don't need to.
Okay, so Blue Ace is... Blue Ace is finally going to make use of his ability and whip around.
And this is where Blue Ace can be good fun. I mean, look at that repositioning he's done from this position here.
Yep. And he's made it 135 degrees too.
Yeah.
Facing the top right corner to facing to the left.
But I still think Elasty is a better choice.
Get those white Talon rolls.
Rose white Talon rolls.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the better ship overall because it opens up options rather than just enhancing one option.
Yeah.
Because between the Koya grid and the Talon rolls and the fact that he'll be able to boost afterwards, it lets him do a lot of things.
Especially BB-8 as well. Obviously, it doesn't work in conjunction with the white Talon rolls.
Yeah.
But it just makes the maneuverability options on
it
that
becomes
ship
incredibly
crazy.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
And unpredictability is useful. Right. Well.
Yeah.
So that's R2-D2 kicking in to regenerate the shield
Give
support.
throw back a shield and lining up on the shuttle. Ooh, he's gonna go for a boost.
Going one forwards in the hope of.
He really doesn't want to be close to the others. Looks like he wants to turn on him. Well, that will turn on the thrusters on his jacks. And possibly even clear Fulton's arc. Alright, so here's the unmodified point-blank shot shuttle. For a single point, possibly.
Aiden must have borrowed my dice.
Is that side of the table there?
Yeah.
So that's a choice. When you only roll one dice on defense and have a focus token on the shuttle, I would have spent Palpatine in that instance and saved the token.
I would not have spent Palpatine, but
If I was going to spend anything and not just suck up the damage, because Palpatine can change one offensive die, whereas the focus can affect all three.
well, all four in that case, because
Yes.
he's going to shoot Poe.
Yeah.
Oh.
A direct hit on Paul.
Oh.
So it was hit crit and he blanked out.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Poe eats 3 and takes a direct hit.
And that was from Jax?
Yep, that was Jax's shot.
Wow.
The Royal Guardsman strikes home.
And that's why I would have been tempted to just take the focus with Poe. I think he was out of Jax's
Yeah, given what it,
one. And then he's got Poe's ability on all the attacks coming in.
yeah, the First Order really needs to get Royal Guardsmen.
Do you know that if Lucasfilm had come in a couple of months later, the Railguard champion from Imperial Assault would have been named Kirkaros? It was the uncertainty on the licensing, so that's why it was changed to generic Railguard champion. That's
So
hearsay, by the way. I don't actually know. Sure. And I'm gonna guess that Jax is okay.
There's a few green
I'm
dice.
gonna
men
guess,
out there.
yeah, that looks like obstructed range 3.
You never know. Always worth rolling the dice.
Oh my god. So I have
Yeah, but in this case, Chris, you would have been right about the effects menu. We wanted to hold Palpatine for something else, just in case. Because Palpatine can go elsewhere.
And that's Poe down.
Yeah, unfortunately, Poe is not going to have a chance to recover.
Yeah, having no tokens on Poe, just rolling 2 natural is a dice with a lot of ships. Well, I guess 2 ships firing.
Yeah. Now the only question is, will Terrence be able to bring it back around and give us the hilarious combo of Wampa plus Colzet? Because you all know you want to see it.
Everybody's favourite.
That's the only thing that we all want to see from this. Got to do it. But
I think we could all agree that Terrence actually failed in this game if he doesn't pull a combo off.
Agreed. You must combo, or else.
So the shuttle unturned last turn, and then did a one
One
forward
forward.
this turn.
Yeah, it did a hard. It did a hard stress the turn before last, so it will now have the option, which actually, given the position, is a pretty good option because if the blue squadron wants to not get shot by the shuttle, you're gonna have to peel out, and that's going to just put him in a terrible position. Although that might actually dodge Wampa, depending on what Wampa chooses to do.
Blue ace coming back around.
Yeah. Fortunately, he's probably going to have to. I don't think there's a green that is going to be a good choice. He's probably going to want to elect to do a hard 3 and get back in there fast rather than go for something green. You can always boost back around and get there.
I would have been.
What happened with the other for now?
It's like he's just going to bank and boost to try and
Get behind Jack.
I mean, Jax is not going to draw a beat on you, and this actually does put him a good distance away from the shuttle if the shuttle does go for the 0. Oh, shuttle's going to go after blue ace.
You don't play that.
So the shuttle's going to go after the slipperiest target he can to show that Terrence can actually fly it now. Not as well as me, but he can fly it.
Oh,
Winning
that's
is that I'm using
good
it for
scoop. What's he
Take
going to
the
do?
target block.
No, he's going to roll so he can shoot.
If I can't kill the guy, then to mitigate the loss of 20, if I
It's a
can
good barrel roll.
Yeah.
Did Wampa correctly guess on Blue Squadron? Looks like he did.
Yeah.
He's going to get the shot first.
So
and then your guy.
Yep.
You're still
Hard 3 and come right back in.
could be seeing the combo.
Yep. I should hope so. Alright, blue ace. Yeah, blue ace is going to grab a token and trade fire with the shuttle. At this point, Jack uses token out.
I do feel that if Wampa doesn't use his ability this turn, we're not going to see it.
Probably not. Now is the time. Alright, so the first shot is actually going to fall to blue ace because, well,
Oh, dead.
yeah, the Jackson is pointed the wrong way. For now.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it earlier in the first game, but oh damn, I'm rubbish.
Ha!
Absolute rubbish. What's he done?
Beat you multiple times.
There's no actual evidence.
Oh,
of
was that the K-Wings? The K-Wings beat you?
I don't know if we can trust your opinion after we lost to Terrence.
I'm going to help out with
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No matter what you roll.
Yes.
Face down card.
Yep, there's the face down to blue squadron
No,
office.
not yet. Just got shields. So all the shields are gone.
Oh,
We lost one shield remaining on the... No, as in, we...
And then you fire on him.
Oh baby. It's gonna be so underwhelming. It's gonna be something
Don't
really
spoil it for
boring.
us.
it's going to be
It's
shaken
gonna be
pilot.
one damage.
It's going to be shaken pilot.
When can I just
How it has been used.
Yeah.
There we go.
Range 1.
Range one.
For 2 hits.
2 isn't so bad. Wampa has a chance to live with a token.
1 dead.
Oh,
And Wampa's down.
not enough.
Oh.
Alright, now shuttle on here. Range 2.
Oh. Definitely worth all that effort.
Alright, you're now
For
in the
what?
end phase.
Oh, the end phase.
Finally.
The end
closest to
phase.
it.
Oh, oh.
What is it?
What was it?
Major hull breach, all remaining.
Woo! Oh, if only Wampa was alive.
If only you could get through those shields.
That was unfortunately less than impressive.
When I heard Major, I was thinking explosion.
That would have been lovely.
It's a major explosion.
But unfortunately, that causes you to suffer the damage. It doesn't
Yeah.
deal you a face of damage
That's
card.
fine.
The shields.
It's fine because then it can
It
do
was
it again next turn.
No. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it would go down and you can pop it back up. No, you suffer a crit. So it hits shields.
Yeah.
But it will go face down, and then it can be turned up again.
And again.
This though, sadly,
Alright.
not so good.
Shuttle and the fight.
Fortunately, the shuttle's at half, Interceptor's out of position, and Wampa has gone off to the big ice caves in the sky. But the combo has occurred, so Terrence has not failed. Well, in that
The
respect,
only reason
we may
to
see
put the
him
list
fail in
together,
that respect.
so yeah, Terrence has not failed.
He may fail again, but we will see.
I think the fact that he only got it out once, that's kind of failing.
It's not winning, but you know.
Well, it wasn't a total disaster.
It's a K turn to ensure he gets a shot again.
Yep. Not that Calder's ability is going to do a whole lot.
No, but it just needs to chip those shields away now. The guaranteed crits are going to make that Blue Squadron Novice go down even quicker, especially with like, integrated astromech on there.
That's true. Right, so Blue Ace is going to scoot around nicely,
Oh yeah, hard one.
making good use of that much maligned ability.
Oh, I think we can safely say that it's going to outfly the shuttle.
That seems reasonable. Alright, Jax is just going to hop around, probably just get out of bar, have himself a nice tilt.
See, he's still
Not
got
much for him to
BB-8.
do.
Still got BB-8. That means he's got hope.
As long as the droid lives.
He's got that piece of man.
To find Luke Skywalker
Yes.
before Palpatine, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Apparently Palpatine and his royal guard are still around.
Yeah, it's a pure resistance list. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know why Paul is lending BB-8 to a Blue Ace and stealing R2 off Luco.
Maybe he owes Blue Ace money.
There's always that chance.
Or in this case, Blue Ace is just a dirty, dirty thief.
Hit crit through.
You got 1, 2, 3 of 8.
And the evade.
Natural. The advanced escapes unscathed.
This game is easy when you're rolling natural evade.
Oh, looks like Calls it's going to get the poke somebody.
I would get it.
Here, Calls it actually does have a choice. Who does he want to stop?
He's going to continue on to the Blue Squadron Novice.
Did nothing.
So talking about that BB-8 droid, the app controller. If you've got a baby out there, as I do, I've got an 8-month-old. $200 droid is the best toy ever. Just saying.
The shuttle evades like a champ.
That is exactly what
Range
keeps her
3
insane.
through a rock.
She's going to
evades
grow
a
up
lot.
thinking droids are real.
They are real. What are you talking about?
I saw it on stage. Yeah, Although I doubt it was a live action one that rolled up the sand dunes. Just gonna throw that one out there.
Yep, Troy doesn't have the ability to do the lighter thumbs up, does it? That would've been
Sadly
awesome.
not. That would be amazing.
He doesn't get it.
Maybe there's like a $2,000 version that can do that. Yep.
All right, well, Tuttle probably pretty much has to do a hard 2 if it wants to be relevant. But then there's that asteroid to worry about. So.
I don't care about that. Wrong stuff for driving. I don't think
But if you
the
park
shot-
on them, you can't shoot.
You can't shoot anyone. You gotta get around.
Well, Blue Squad's just gonna chill. Looks like he's not gonna be. Terrence is playing mind games,
Gonna sit in front of Colbert.
intimidating Aiden. Oh, even worse. How could you do that to yourself?
I'm going to bring the action a little bit tighter now.
Yep.
As we are into the last 6 minutes remaining.
Yeah, guys, geez, stop being so slow.
Terrence is probably going to slow play this one out for a win because he's scared.
Yeah, he's terrified, clearly. Alright, well, it's going to do something. Alright. Blue Ace is going to roll out. And
Just
see what that
imagine
gets.
had that been Alalasty. That would be wild.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't be there. Stop being terrible, Kris.
Oh,
Ooh.
Just saying, it could
power
have
roll position. If you're going to decloak it, you know, that is cheating.
What, Terrence cheat? But that's impossible.
You can't do that, Terrence. It doesn't fit. I promise you, it's played before. If you're just joining us now,
So he did the Talon roll.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have a roll out. So he's going to have to token and smack the rock.
Would you not with Blue Ace just do a hard and then boost hard? And not get through?
doesn't have the hard one, does it?
Hard two?
The hard 2 and then the hard 1.
I don't know.
It's that,
Right,
yeah, so the hard 2 would have put him here. You'd have been a bit tighter in.
It's like 2.
So that is 1 shield gone.
Slowly beating Blue Ace down.
So no damage. Yeah,
Oh, no.
no damage on the Police Squadron novice.
Alright, so nothing doing. Alright, here's that range 1 unmodified shot. Now Aiden's dice have a chance to go gold or go home.
And Jax is just, you know, sitting in front of that rock.
As much as I wanted to,
Ooh, that's interesting. Shuttle is the target. For
Well,
big crit.
Jax with 4 evade dice, an evade token, and a focus. An unmodified attack. I think I can understand going for the shot in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh, not major explosion. They want to see it again.
Alright, that is a console fire on the shuttle. Yeah, unfortunately, Jax could not quite roll out as much as he would have liked to.
That's a nice roll from Cole.
Yep. Well, he was hoping he does something with the Blue Squad. Blue Squad chokes. And does nothing but shields.
3 shields gone.
Unfortunately for him, Colton isn't going to troll him this turn.
Yeah.
Shuttle's going to be out.
Oh yeah.
And Blue Squadron flails ineffectively at Jax. He now smacks into a rock.
And
He's going to
evidently,
get force choked for that one.
no damage taken from Jax
Yep, Jax is still stealthed up.
until he hits this rock.
But
Well, he'll still be stealthy. Just
Not when he major explosion into direct hit. You don't even need the second major explosion.
he can always pulp that.
No, he wouldn't. He
If it rolls
wouldn't.
crit. It's
I
Terren,
don't.
will.
I think that if Terrence rolls
He's a
the
wuss.
crit when he rolls this rock, it isn't going to Palpatine it because he's a man.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
He'll take it and he'll like it.
Palpatine's got better things to do. He's got his own console fire to worry about. You may notice a running theme when we get to game 3 on these evenings. It gets pretty late, and we degenerate into more banter-based commentary.
Well, number 2 is probably going to be fine with just grabbing. Oh, no, probably not fine with grabbing a flag. It's probably going to hit the X Wing if he tries that. Troll, I don't think he can talon roll.
Oh, I think you could tell him all right.
I don't think it'll put him in a good position. Ooh, he is going for the flag. That's going to be clunky. Ooh.
He's never in doubt.
I must have been looking at it at a bad
Oh
angle.
no, he can't focus. What a shame. He's stressed.
I thought it was more to the right. Oh, the shuttle doesn't want to play anymore.
It needs to put its console fire out.
Yeah. That's a flip. I don't know if the shuttle gets back into this game.
No.
There's very little room. Well, I guess he can sort of slog around. It's just that
The camera's tight in. I think there is enough room.
Oh, there's more than enough room. Yeah.
There's more. Like he'll be able to slog back in.
Unless he's dead.
Yeah. Pulls it'll grab a roll. Very nice roll.
Oh yeah.
That'll put him in a very good spot to finish off Blue Squad.
Yeah, I start to see zoomed out view again, seeing as Terrence is forcing us to see where the shuttle is going to be.
Well, he's just going to hop around. The question is, does he want to boost around and try and pick up shot?
You have probably enough time for one more round.
Yeah, at that angle, I probably would boost around for the break one shot.
Yeah.
It's like that's what he's doing.
Gotta get that shuttle. Stop that pulp. And unfortunately, Jax is going to fight. But he will run away.
Terrence is flying over rocks because he's just bad at the game.
That is a hit, but that is not a crit.
But is he going to Palpatine it?
It's just a
Terrence is
normal
just gonna take it on the
hit,
chin.
so he doesn't care.
That's my punishment for not flying better.
It is your punishment for not flying better. We agree.
Alright, so.
The desk unanimously agrees you must learn to play.
Who lands on obstacles, honestly?
All right, Blue Ace, what's he gonna do?
So,
He's gonna shoot the shuttle.
if the shuttle goes down and Terrence doesn't manage
that's
to
a good
kill
one.
something,
You shoot the shuttle? Yeah. How many dice did you roll?
3.
One more.
Aiden forgot the extra one for range, so
3 hits.
And this is why Terrence did not use Palpatine.
Takes 3 hits.
That's brave. Still not using Palpatine.
Shuttle's at 1.
If a shuttle goes down and is unanswered, loses control of the game for Terrence.
Yeah, but Aiden's not going to go for the long shot. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's not his turn.
Although now Palpatine comes into play.
Yeah, calls it. Looks like he's going to chunk that blue squad out before he can shoot. Yeah, down he goes.
Oh, sad times.
Down goes the second T-70.
And that does take the game out of reach for Aiden.
Yep,
Even
we
if
are
the
at time, and Aiden's at here. Aiden knows defeat.
Oh, that was good.
Well, Jackson calls it are still basically full.
Yeah, so even with
likely
the shuttle going down next round, it cannot be recovered. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I'll drag it back over to the desk while we analyse that game. So, how did you think that one went?
It went pretty much as expected, I think. I mean, we were hoping to see that combo more than the once, but
Yeah.
you know, it takes a little bit of setting up, and you can't just take it at every opportunity because one could have died earlier. So.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Terren
true.
should have just learned how to play.
No, I was pretty impressed with Blue Ace actually. He did have a lot more tricks, but I still think the pilot skill stuff against Terrence's list there.
It just so happened that
Yeah.
3 of the ships were low enough pilot skill that he could be useful.
Yeah, but I still think I prefer LOSD if I'm going for that style of play. Obviously, Paul Damron was exploded relatively quickly.
He was much too aggressive, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like trying to go for the range 3 to get that auto thrusters, just exposed him to the range 1 shot from the shuttle without tokens.
Yeah.
I thought Terrence flew the shuttle reasonably well there. There was no real big move that I wouldn't have done. He got multiple rounds of shooting with it. It's always good to see. So.
As you can see, Terrence is quite proficient with large base ships.
Okay, guys. Any more comments? Or are you good for me to pull them over for a quick interview?
Well, let's see what they've got to say.
Okay. Give me 1 second, guys, and I'll grab them for an interview. So I'm joined back on the desk with Terrence yet again, victorious, 2-0 today. And Aiden, fortunately it didn't quite go as you'd hoped, but enjoy the game, guys.
Oh yeah, it was great.
That's good.
That was fun for sure.
Yeah.
Even when I lose, I win.
That's the mentality I like, X Wing. It's good fun. I mean, both of you had interesting lists, sir. Obviously, Terrence, you were going for a bit more synergy in the guaranteed Wampa combo.
For sure.
It was when I saw the list, I was pretty happy. I know you were going for the pole initiative bid there. And you ran into a list where it wasn't quite as relevant as it could have been.
Yeah, I thought about maybe putting an Asti in instead of Blue Ace,
Yeah,
just for that initiative
yeah.
pilot skill bit, but I'm not disappointed with how Blue Ace went.
No, I think there was some good options, sir. Your talent roll and your repositioning and stuff is really good. Obviously, BB-8 as well, give you some funky moves, so it was pretty good to see.
What I like about that combo is he is really hard to predict.
Yeah.
So, and you can do a whole 180 without ever having to talent roll. Is another good thing about it. So
Yeah. No, it's good.
save that stress.
Yeah. So, is that something we're going to see from you two at Star Championships on Saturday?
I'll never tell.
No. Yeah.
I really just wanted to test that combo, and I've tried a couple test games with it, and it's been it's Wampa's quite clearly the first thing to die if you've got aces, and if you've got a bunch of mooks, then nobody cares about Wampa. They're like, who cares about Wampa? He's a TIE fighter.
Yeah, I think it's good filler at the end, but I don't think it's worth building a list around unless if you run into the Paul Miranda combo, then you can mock people for a little while. But still, even against Miranda, having those 5 hull points, Wampa's not going to get it done before the TLT brings it down.
Wampa, so I played a test game against Phantom, and
That's an interesting
The
one.
Phantom was good because it doesn't have a really, really fantastic dial for doing all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
So I was able to get the Phantom in RK range 3, which is what I really wanted to do with Poe on this game.
Yeah.
And then you get that one crit through, and now that one crit, that could be the game, right?
Yeah.
Like your shields are not stealth device, whatever you got doesn't matter,
You
right?
just build into came to my secret echo list then. Yeah, nice one. And what about yourself? Is it something you're trialing for the championships or just
Yeah, I've been kind of messing around. I want to do a 3T70 list for the championships. 'Cause I love the ship.
Yeah.
Being able to run three of them at once that was my goal.
That's good. It's good to see. Yeah, okay, so a couple of comments from the chat. We've got maybe VI on Blue Ace.
The problem with that is Blue Ace doesn't have the elite slot. So you need to take
the
The
droid.
Astromech to give him.
Astromech, and
Yeah.
then he doesn't have BB-8.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the only thing I would potentially do is maybe bump up your blue to a red squadron veteran.
I had playtested that a little bit, and a lot of the time I actually found having the 2 is
The
better
lower power
for
skill.
blocking.
Yeah.
It didn't come into effect as much this game, but it's that few points cheaper.
Yeah.
Get the initiative bid, or maybe throw a couple extra upgrades on.
Yeah, cool. Have you got anything you want to talk about?
No. I think I'm looking forward to this weekend. You're going to be running a station like this on the weekend, so
Yeah, as long as we don't get into a 50-player range, we should still have space for the desk setup as well.
Perfect.
But we'll definitely be doing a live stream for the actual store championships.
And is it just going to be you manning it, or?
We're hoping that myself and Greg will be manning it when either yourself or Calvin drops after early round humiliation. We'll happily get you on a deck.
All my Y-wings and all.
Yeah, we all know what you're flying, Calvin.
Yeah, that's going to be a full day stream on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll be starting at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, so that'll be 11:30 Eastern Standard for you on the East Coast. Tune in. We'll be streaming all day long. You'll get to enjoy myself in a little bit more casual attire because I'm not wearing this for an 11-hour day. And we'll have some good featured games. I'm going to try and pick out some interesting lists from the early rounds, and then obviously as we progress to Calvin, we're not going to be featuring TLT spam round 1 through 5. But if you make the cut, I might throw you a bone. No pressure. And that's it. So what I'm going to do is just throw you back onto the holding screen for a moment, guys. I'll get Greg and Calvin back on, and we'll say goodnight. And we're back to see out the show. So thanks to you guys for coming on and doing the commentary. Hope you enjoyed your game, and we'll have to get your TLTs on for a bit of a fun matchup.
Oh, well, depends how badly I choke. I mean, if I fall apart like your dice did. Yeah.
No, it's
Like, look, here's the bottom table. Someone who set their first tournament against 4 TLTs. That seems fair.
Yeah, fun times. No, I'm looking forward to Saturday. It should be a good day. We should have the new equipment by then, and if I can get it all set up, the stream quality will go up a little bit again. That's our goal, is to try and keep improving, so I really appreciate the feedback from you guys. So keep sending messages on Facebook to either myself, Kris Sherriff, and follow me on Twitter at Kris Sherriff, because I'm the original. You can find the sentry box as well. Send us any emails, send the messages on Facebook for any feedback. Follow the threads on the FFG forums. There's loads of different media out there that I'm trying to get feedback on. I appreciate the Twitch chat comments today. A lot of it's going to get worked on. We will be doing the announcement for who wins the Pole Alternate Art card on next Monday's show. Obviously, with the Store Championship stream, we'll be having a lot of coverage from that. So we'll hopefully be some highlight reel from the Store Championship games, a bit of post-championship analysis, and maybe we'll have a feature matchup as well. So tune in next Monday, and thanks for watching, guys. So we're gonna cut and come back. So it sounds good now. Oh, It was your own sound. It was your own problems. It was you making us look stupid. Oh, Twitch chat. Trolled by Twitch chat. I'm not talking to a person behind the camera taking photographs. I'm talking to a wider audience. Oh dear. Okay, so as I was saying, for the benefit of people without sound, I'm your host.